Evening, everyone. Evening. Oh, less than 24 hours to go. How are the nerves doing, everyone? Looking forward to this little show tonight. We might have a few people pop on. We'll see how we go. To be honest with you, Cookie's got a bit of an headache tonight. I don't know what's going on. But there you go. It is what it is. Hope you're all well and had a good day today. A bit of a chill after, I would imagine, most of you have been at work all week and Saturday and Sunday off, building up to the game tomorrow. And West Ham only drew, so that was a bit of a bonus for us, wasn't it? That we're still 4 points clear. So I don't know. What do you think? Does that take the pressures off us a little bit, or we still need to get something from the game at the end of the day? I think, don't we? If we can, anyway. If we can. But yeah, I've got to tell you, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to doing the watch along. That's going to be good. Emotional, I think it's going to be tomorrow. I feel like it's the biggest North London derby for years for both teams. It's going to be interesting because we don't really know how Big Eagle's going to approach it, and it'll be interesting to see if Arsenal have got any vulnerability about them, or if they're just going to come out and think, yeah, we're too good for these, we'll beat these. Put us to the sword. So, yeah, it'll be a bit interesting. And before I come to the chat, I'm going to wipe this glasses here because this left one is bugging me when I'm looking at the screen. So just let me do this quickly. Sorry, people. Not very well. I did wipe them, but obviously not good enough. Let's try that. Yeah, that's a bit better. Anyway, yeah, I hope you're all well. And there's the link. If anyone wants to jump on, you're more than welcome, as always. Shem's in. Good evening, gentlemen. And the lovely Queen Ellie says, well, there's no one here. I know Sheriff's over the pub. And I don't know about Ellie. I don't know. I don't think she was due to come on tonight. I think I might have sent her the link, Shem, but sometimes people are busy, on a Saturday. It is what it is. We'll see how we go anyway. He says, good evening, gentlemen, lovely Queen Ellie and guests. Hope everyone is well this evening. At least wet spam, yes, were held to a point tonight. Regardless, though, we need 3 points tomorrow if we can. Well, 3 points would be lovely, mate. At least it'd give us that little 2-game cushion again, wouldn't it? So that'd be nice, Shem. But, I'd still take a point, to be fair, mate. I'd still take a point. Still 2 wins for them, really, isn't it? As it stands. Don't know what's wrong with me tonight, I'll tell you. I feel cold. I just said to the missus, I was just sitting on a sofa in there and flicking through the old YouTube on the phone. So it's bleeding freezing in here, and the radiator was on, the little fire's on, the windows closed. I don't know what's going on. I think it's just me. But big up to you, Shem. I hope you're well. Nita's in. She says, good evening. Hit the like button on your way in. Absolutely. Hit that like button. Usual rules apply. 50 likes. We'll get there. 50 likes and a couple of subs. We're flying on the old subs. You'll laugh today. I was in Manchester today with the missus. So anyway, you don't see many Spurs shirts or hats or whatever about. So anyway, we're in this boozer. And the missus said, yeah, I'll have whatever, pint or whatever. And off she toddled to the loo. Anyway, we went, sat outside. And I didn't even have a drink because they didn't have coffee. Can you believe? So I sat there with the missus while she had her pint. And as we were walking back in, there's a lad sitting there with his 2 mates with a Tottenham hat on. Now, bear in mind, this is the middle of Manchester. It don't happen very often. So I walked up to him. I said, are you having a laugh wearing that hat? He went, no, I'm a Spurs fan. I went, really? Oh, you're a Spurs fan? He went, yeah. Yeah. I said, well, make sure you subscribe. This is the channel. See you later. We're on at 8 o'clock tonight. Have a good day. Come on, you Spurs. I think he did subscribe as well. Bless him. But there you go, little tale of the day, that one. But yeah, big up to you, Nita. Thank you. Logan's in. He's always in, Logan. Lovely to see you, mate. Good evening, fellas, and big up as always. Yep, absolutely, Logan. Big up to you, mate. Big up to you. Andrew's in. He says, evening, Cookie. I'll say, evening, Andrew. How are you, mate? Hope you're well. Aye. Who's this? I don't know who this is. Honestly, I don't. But there you go. Igor Tudor, the firefighter. Get in there. Go on, Igor. Big Igor. Good evening, lads. Keep the good work up on this channel. And for Christ's sake, everyone, get behind my boys tomorrow. There you go. Igor. It's got to be done, isn't it? It's got to be done. Big up, Igor. Nice to see that you're in the best Spurs channel that there is out there. We love to see it. Or the channel that's growing anyway. Let's, Marianne's in, YouTube member. Big up to you, Marianne. I hope you're well. She says, I was cheering for Bournemouth, but a draw is okay, I suppose. Yeah, that's all. It's not like that. It's not like the Spammers one, is it, Marianne? It's 2 points dropped for them, really, in their quest to get out of it, isn't it? But, I feel like if West Ham had won and the gap had shrunk to 2 points, I then feel like we might have been under a bit of pressure tomorrow. Marianne, to be fair to you, I do. I think it would have changed the complexion of the game a little bit, if you like. But they've got their 4-point cushion there now still, and the 4-point cushion to West Ham will still be there, whatever the result tomorrow. Hopefully a bit more. But, it gives us a game, doesn't it? It gives us a game over them. Here we go, Logan. Straight up, got to give it to him for the first minute. I agree, mate. I agree. Without being silly, though, Logan. There is being silly. Do you know what I mean? It only takes a bit of a mistimed tackle, bit of a rake down the back, and you get one on a yellow card after 2 or 3 minutes, and they've got to watch their step then, haven't they? And Arsenal will play on stuff like that. You know what they're like. But, yeah, I agree with you. If you can get away with anything, if you know what I mean, get away with it. And put a couple of fair stiff ones on them, mate. Early doors, if the chance presents itself. Why not? Let them know we're at home. We're at home, mate. Let them know we're at home in our stadium and we're going to give them large. And that's it. Whether we're good enough, Logan, who knows? Who knows? But I think as long as fans, as I've said, see that, and not a case of just trying, I'm sure there'll be little bits and pieces in the game, and I'm sure you're not going to see, I won't say sitting back behind the ball, but you won't see as much when it gets through forward or long ball forward, it just coming back as quick. I think you'll get players up around whoever's receiving the ball, and I'm not saying it'll work every time, but it'll give us a bit more chance further up the pitch, Plus, it gives the defenders and whoever the 2 DMs are a rest, doesn't it, a little bit? Rob's in. Big up, mate. Evening, mate. He says, Pikey's got a draw. Thank God. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, it just keeps us them 4 points, Rob, doesn't it? Big up to you, mate. Good evening, Mark. Dominic says, good evening to you, Dominic. Hope you're well. Hope you're well this evening. I hope everyone's had a great day. Weather ain't been too good up here, to be fair. I mean, the sheriff's not here with a weather report, even though he'd struggle because it's dark outside. You know what I mean? But we was out today, like I said, in Manchester today. We had a few bits and pieces to go and do. And I think we dodged it, to be fair. We sort of took the car, a third of the way, if you like. Parked the car up at the old tram stop, straight in to town on the tram. Easiest way. Free parking. Being a stooge like I am. Don't pay if you don't have to. That's what I say. But there you go. Yeah, went into town. Done a few bits and just come home. But by the time we got back, we pulled into the car park and it just started raining because the missus put the brolly up, and it's been teeming down here ever since. It's been crap this afternoon. Awful weather. Big up to you, Dom. Nita says, "I Cookie 0-0 from West Ham. Now Man City to step up. Them us up the road crying. Sitting top. Do one. There you go. Do one. Nita, as they say. That's what they need to do." Shem says, "I'll take it all back and only hello to you, sir, and the rest can go whistle. I'll let them know you said hello, Shem. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, mate." Yeah, Ben, what can I do, mate? What can I do? What you need to do is, Ben, give him a little text. He'll let you know what's going on. And if he ain't told you, can't talk about that stuff on air, Ben. You know how it is. He's never. I know. He's either at work or he's gallivanting or he's doing whatever. But he's all right, mate. He's all right. He knows that, like, if he's about, jump on, like he did this morning, barely. You see the state of him when he jumped on. He looked like he'd been dragged for a bush backwards. Little peepholes for eyes. Well, there you go. He was there, Ben. He was there. He managed an hour this morning, mate. He managed an hour this morning. Marianne saying good evening to Ben. Yeah, absolutely. And Ben's returning a compliment. Big up. My old mate's in. Ghosted. Big up to you, mate. Boom. We'll have some of that. Hope you're well. And we've got our an opponent in tonight. Is Mr. Clark's in again. There he is. Big up to you, Anthony. Hope you're well, mate. And family and that. Big up, Mark. He says, "Come on, you Gunners. Boo. Hiss. Boo." That's the best I can do, Anthony. It wasn't very good, was it? I think I was supposed to get a brick and throw it at the computer and all that, mate. But not allowed, as Charlie would say. He's big up to you, mate. Big up, Anthony. Thanks for popping in, mate. Future's bright, future's lily white. We dodged a bullet with today's result. There you go, mate. Luck was on our side today, mate. They only got the point. And like I say, still gives us that 4-point cushion, which is not a lot by any stretch of the imagination. But it's better than 2 points going into tomorrow. And then them feeling like, oh my God, perhaps it would have been a better option. I don't know. Maybe it would have been, but I don't think Spurs players like pressure. I really don't think they like pressure. So I'm hoping tomorrow with the fans behind them, behind the manager, behind the players, and like I say, we might not be good enough. But as long as they put it all in, and that'll be another question I ask in a minute of you lot. That'll be an interesting question. Actually, I'll ask it now, right? So, as we've been so poor this season, not all the time, admittedly, we've had little bits here, bits there that have been okay, yeah, and good, by the way. But generally, we've been poor. So, can't believe I'm going to say this. Now I've lost me thread now as well. It took so long I was going to ask it. It's gone. Go on, slaughter me in the chat. It'll come back to me in a minute. I thought I'm going to ask this now because I'll forget what it is, and now it's gone out of my head. I've got to change the subject now again, and let me try and think what it was. We dodged a bullet with today's result, 0-0. They only get a point. That means they're 4 points behind. I've lost track. 4 points behind. If they have got a result, 2 points behind. Yeah. So I don't know if we'd have had the fight or not. If, like I said before, if it gets to that stage, 4 points, even with a loss tomorrow, which most people would have expected at the beginning of the week. And I'm sure a lot of people still do now, even though some of us do have a bit of hope. We do have a bit of hope when you look at it all and try and weigh it all up, But yeah, the fight. We need to fight for everything, and I think the fans do as well. I'll be fighting here in front of me telly, doing the watch along, trying to do me bit, and I want the the 55,000 Spurs fans in that stadium to be doing the same thing. You know, and there you go. It's come back to me what I was going to ask you. So if these players have been so bad, right, throughout the last couple of seasons, if they put in that gritty type of performance tomorrow in the first game under Igor Tudor, do you then ask players of their commitment for the last 2 years? So almost like turning it on its head. We obviously want a performance tomorrow. We haven't seen much as far as performances throughout the season are concerned. Like I said, a bit here and a bit there. You know, some good bits here, some good bits there. But does that then make you think if tomorrow, if you know, not necessarily get a point or a win, but you thought, you know what, I've seen something different from this lot today. You know, does it then make you question their commitment to the club for the last 2 years, year, whatever? As far as league performances are concerned, I mean, I know they've not all been here for 2 years, but some of them have. Some of them have come in. Was it the manager? Was it the manager? Was it Thomas Frank for the last 6 months? We don't need to go back to Ange again because we've spoke about that so much. But as far as Thomas Frank was concerned, was he just the wrong fella for the job? Wrong fella, wrong set of players, wrong circumstances, wrong time. For example. No, I don't, Trev. No, I don't. But you know what it's like, mate. Look, listen, quality-wise, they are, you know, they're on a way different level to us. You know, throughout their squad, the teams that they can put out, even if they did have 4, 5, 6 injuries, you know, they've got the squad to cope with it. You know, my way of looking at it, Trev, is that, yeah, there is a bit of hope in there if you want, because I want to try and be positive, mate. So I'm fed up with coming on here, right, and moaning and groaning about Spurs all the time. And I'm being serious when I say that. I don't want it to be. I want to come on here, you know, most weeks and be going, yeah, we'll win today. Don't you worry about that. Show over, dink, watch along later on. But in all seriousness, Trev, yeah, there is a bit of hope to it. It's probably massively stupid as we've only got 12/13 fit players. So that's 2 that way, why I shouldn't be. But change your manager. There is times that it's worked before. I'm not talking about necessarily for Spurs, but for other teams. Yeah, you know, I think it's going to be 1-1. If we can stay in the game, the longer we can stay in the game, no silly early goal, right? And by the way, Trev, I must hasten to add, if we're not on it tomorrow or anywhere near on it, and Arsenal turn up, yeah, we will get battered, mate. We will get battered. It's almost like I'm trying to put the faith in them. You know, everything's in their boat. They've got it all there now. They've got the new manager. Yeah. They've got us trying to back them. Well, I believe we're going to, you know, every station I go on, every station I listen to, it's come on, lads, back the boys. Get behind the manager and back the boys is a big one. So, you know, look, the probability is we'll get beat, Trev. In all probability, we'll get beat. Yeah, but I just look at it, we're at home. As crap as our home form is, we're at home. Yeah, that stadium's going to be rocking, and if it ain't, there's serious issues. Right? And hopefully the manager finds something with them. Whatever that find is, I don't know, Trev, because I'm not a manager by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm only trying to explain to you how I sort of feel about it. You know, I never want Spurs to get beat, mate. In reality, they probably will. They probably will. But, you know, I've got to try and have a bit of hope somewhere along the line. Something like that, Dominic. Something like that. Mr. Taylor's in. Big up to you, mate. Hope you're well. Look, if anyone wants to pop on, have their say, go to the top of the chat, or I will put it in again for you. I'll tell you what I'll do. Just bear with me 1 second. Let me get rid of that. I'll go to the old WhatsApp one here. I'll go to this here. I'm very good at this, you know. Not. We'll do that. This is definitely the way to do it, because if I try to do it while I'm looking at you lot on there, it'll be a nightmare. Do that. Do that. Click on that. Click on that. Yeah, I know, for fuck's sake. There we go. There we go. Links in the chat. If anyone wants to come on, by all means, do so. Connor will have rice in his pocket tomorrow. You have my word. If he ain't, Igor, I'm coming for you, mate. 6'4" or not. All right? From down south, and I'm well hard. Probably not, Trev. Probably not. But, you know, I can't just come on here being so pessimistic all the time. You know, I think everyone knows how I feel about the squad and the players and everything else, you know. We've got to try and have a bit of trying to be a little bit upbeat somewhere along the line, you know. Rob says it's been shit down there all day too. What a load of shit, mate, isn't it, Rob? Eh? I know, Ben. I know, it is what it is, mate. It is what it is. But you know what I mean. What can I say? What can I say, mate? Do one where. Oh, everyone melts down, don't they, when the result goes wrong, Anthony? Doesn't it? This one, that one, whoever's result, it's mad at the moment. You can go on so many channels, you know. And Man City are winning, by the way, Anthony, 1-0, as Leslie reports from the Etihad. Leslie Crawford, chief mod at the Etihad. Manchester City 1, Newcastle 0. Thank you, Leslie. Cheers, mate. Big up to you, Leslie. Trev, come on, man. Trev, be nice. Come on, when I said we was going down about 7 weeks ago, everyone laughed at me. I did look at the fixtures after that and thought that others have got worse fixtures than us, though, Trev. I think we've got about 7 or 8 of the games that we've got left we can get points in. You know? But everyone sees it different, Trev. Everyone sees it different. I hope you're wrong, mate. I hope you're wrong. Yeah. Other reports coming in from the Etihad here. The Devil, 1-0 City. And Nita travelled all the way from London up to the Etihad today for City 1, Newcastle 0. Do you see how I'm changing the voice here? I'm practicing the commentary there as I'm streaming to you, just so you all know that. Trev says Igor Tudor won't make a bit of difference. Well, he's in the chat. He's in the chat, Trev. I'm sure he'll have something to say to you, mate. That's all I can say. I'll leave that between you and Igor, Trev. I don't want to get involved in all that one. Oh, look, next comment, Trev. I told you, didn't I? He's hard, this geezer. Trev, he's not for messing about, you know. Short term, get the job done, in, out, shake it all about. Where's me bonus? Ta-da. That's it, isn't it? It's as simple as that. Aye. Geordie Jeff's in. Come on, you Spurs, he said. Go on, Jeff. We have to get something out of this game tomorrow. would give us a lift big time. I'm with you. I'm with you, Geordie Jeff. I'm with you. 1-1, mate, for me tomorrow. Tottenham Trev thinks I'm mad, but that's all right. That's all right. Sorry, I can see Trevor and Igor going at it in the chat now. We're starting to be nice, gents. Gents, be nice, please, because I'm only halfway down. Bit of banter, yeah, but, there you go. Be nice. Listen, it is what it is, right? Everyone's got a different opinion. Be nice, yeah? Have a conversation about it. Trev, you tell Igor why we're so crap and we're going down. And Igor, you can tell Trev why we're not so crap. And these 12 games will lift you into some sort of stardom ship. Everyone's going to want Igor after this 12-game stretch. Who knows? Who knows? But big up, Geordie Jeff. Big up. I can't big all that up. No. Behave, all of you. Be nice. Kev's in. Yeah, well, yeah. Trev, they are average. They are average, mate. There's a couple of good ones in there. The problem is, Trev, there's so, and I'm not blaming injuries, but we've had so many players out, mate. You take 3 or 4 players out of a, I don't know, a team, if you like, a team or a squad. We got 11s and 12s and 13 players out at a time, whether they're average or not. And it's not an excuse, because if they'd have bought better upstairs, we probably wouldn't be in this position now. But it is what it is, Trev. It is what it is, mate. And I think you're right, mate. They are pretty average. I think that's been proven over the last 2 years. And the problem is that you will get performances out of certain individuals once, twice a month, maybe. Yeah. And then, that 8 out of 10 turns into a 4 out of 10. And this is where we talk about consistency in the game, by better players to get better consistency in the squad. That's where I am with it, Trev, to be honest with you. Other people might have a different opinion. Again, it's just opinion, mate. I love Trev, though. I do love him, because people think we're bloody negative, right? Well, I should get Trev on the show. Trev, you got to come on something. Come on tonight if you want, Trev. Feel free, mate. Feel free. It ain't, I welcome different opinions, because I am basically where you are, mate. I think we're average. I think we've been average and below average for the last couple of years. And I think a lot's got to change. A lot's got to change. But it's Arsenal, isn't it, tomorrow? You know what I mean? They're on a bit of a wobble, Trev. If you can call it a wobble. You know what they're like. You know what they're like. They do like a bottle of Lucozade. I'm jumping on the bandwagon a bit, Trev. I know I am, mate, but go easy on me, fella. You know what I mean? It's not very often I'm backing Spurs to get something out of a game. Big up, Trev. Kev's in. I need positivity. He says, I know we are staying up. I think we can win tomorrow. Well, Kev, I think a few people are like thinking, hang on a minute, we might have a squeak here. Do you know what I mean? My biggest problem is, Trev, is that we've only got 12, 13 players available for tomorrow. Might be 14. I don't know. I know Solanke was a bit iffy. I think Richarlison's back. I don't think Porro's back. So you can make it out what you will. But we've got what we've got. So basically, I think he's going to put out... I think he'll put out the team that he sees fit for the system out of the 14 players that he's got, or whatever it is, that he seems like that he's happy to play with that formation, whatever it'll be, whether it's a 3 at the back, whether he plays 4, who knows? Who knows? We'll find out a lot tomorrow in the first 15, 20 minutes, Kev. But I'm 1-1, Kev, to be fair with you. I just think that as long as we stay in the game, we'll have a chance of nicking something. And the fans, we talk about only having 12, 13, 14 players, right? But the fans are the 12th, 13th and 14th man tomorrow. I don't want to hear, listen, I'm here listening, right? All you lot that are going tomorrow, all of you, right? I don't want to hear them Goudas once. Sorry, Anthony. I don't want to hear them. Right? All I want to hear is Tottenham tomorrow. I wish I was going, get the old singing going, a few of the old tunes from back in the day as well. Get it rocking in there. It'd be great. Big up to Phil. Hope you're well, mate. More than welcome to pop on, Phil. Any of you, save you all listening to my droning voice all the time. You're more than welcome. Links up the top of the chat. Not up the top now. I've put it in again. But you're more than welcome. I've said so many things, Dom. I can't remember what it marked. If that happens, I will be disappointed, but relieved in a way. Interesting, Dom. Interesting. We might nick a draw, though, Trev. Stranger things have happened in life, mate, and they? Spurs nicking a draw against Arsenal with half the team, aren't they? Here comes
Big up, Cookie. How you doing? You all right, mate?
He is. Benji's coming. How are you, mate?
I'm not too bad. Big up, chat. Listen, I'm so sorry I'm late.
No,
Mrs. went out to some sort of psychic gig, mate, and she left me in charge with the kids. I can't look after myself, let alone my kids. I try.
I love it, mate. Yeah, don't think you're the only one in life that happens to, mate, or has happened to.
Mate, honestly, fella, good lord. But I have been watching on the side. Admittedly, I've had City on in the background as well.
How are they doing, by the way, Benji?
Do you know what? To be fair, they're frighteningly fluid in the attack. Jesus. Defence is always a little bit shaky, see. I don't think they're anything spectacular at the back. But I think they're one of the only teams that are just a joy to watch going forward, Yeah. It just seems so seamless.
Loads of movement.
Winning.
Loads of movement, which is what football's all about at the end of the day, Benji, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
It is indeed, mate. It is, but you don't really see that much anymore. It seems to just be constant back, sideways, back. Recycle. It's boring.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like I said, look, we need Man City to win, really, don't we? Really and truly, to keep that pressure up on the old Gooners.
Yeah, definitely. What did you think about Wet Spam getting a 0-0 with Bournemouth?
Do you know what? I did watch the game, and I've got to be honest with you. I think they look a better team than us at the moment, and it's hard to say that because up until, do you know what? It's really weird. Up until they played us, I thought they were genuinely the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
Despite them being higher than the others, but I don't know what's happened. They've had a bit of a resurgence, mate. They're kind of, goddamn, my camera looks awful. They've had a bit of a resurgence, mate. I don't know what the hell is going on at West Ham. I don't know what Nuno's got them doing, but something is working for them. And as regards to the game, I mean, look, 0-0, it's still a point. It's still a point. And for all intents and purposes, we won't be picking any up tomorrow. So, they're a bit closer, aren't they? They're a bit closer.
Yeah, I suppose 4 points. We go into the game tomorrow knowing that their 4 points are more than one game behind us still, if you like, Benji, innit? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I know there's others, Forest and that. I think they got terrible running, Forest, myself, personally, when I looked at it. Because, I said a few weeks ago, I think we're in trouble here. We're falling like a stone. But I hadn't looked at Forest and West Ham's fixtures till the end of the season. Yeah. And then I just had a little read up, see who West Ham had, see who had Forest had. And And, I'm looking at it thinking, yeah. And I've come up with that. I think Forest are in trouble, mate, personally. But that's just me.
Do you know what? I'll tell you what I'll do, Mark. Cook, I will, first and foremost, I'm going to grab a lighter. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, you crack on, mate. EDM says, no, we're winning tomorrow. Let's hope so, EDM. Let's hope so. I really hope we win tomorrow. Yeah. And all you lot can come in and say to me, Cookie, you're negative. We are 1-1 and all that. Fair play. I'll take it. 1-1 City Newcastle, apparently.
Did you say you were being negative calling a draw tomorrow? Did I hear that right?
Well, yeah. We've got Trev in here, Tottenham Trev. He thinks we get absolutely nothing tomorrow. We've got no squad. And fair enough. I've just, before you come on, mate, if you were listening, I said to Trev, look, it is hope more than anything else. Don't get me wrong, Benji. Do you know what I mean? I just think that the new manager bounce, it does work sometimes, not every time, but sometimes. Whether or not he can get enough out of them to get a draw, I don't know. I think the main thing is that they actually show some effort tomorrow, show some pride, show some passion. And I think, if we got beat 2-0 and we've done all that, the fans wouldn't really moan about it. Not like when we come out of West Ham, Benji, the other week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But Cookie, is that where we are as a club now? Is that where we are as fans? Like, we've not even gotten to the point where we want to win. I just want to see my team look like they give a shit, right?
Yeah.
I just saw. Am I allowed to do that on your show?
Yeah, of course you are.
That's like, for me, that's never what Tottenham was about. Just putting in a performance. It's so sad to see, how far we've slipped down as a team. I mean, to the point where even the fans, they just want to see something for the players more so than a bloody, that seems to be like the primary thing now rather than the wins. It's sad to see, Cook. It really is, mate. It really is.
Yeah. I agree with you, mate. It is.
Do you want me to give you the rundown on Forest real quick?
Yeah,
I know you already
on,
know this, but just for you lot in the chat, in case you don't know it.
Yeah.
So Forest, they've got Liverpool tomorrow. I obviously I won't bother counting the Europa. They've got Liverpool tomorrow. I think it's going to be a loss for them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Following that, they've got Brighton, Manchester City. Oh, good God, they're not having a great time, are they? Fulham, us, easy 3 points there. Aston Villa, another tough game. Burnley, Sunderland, Chelsea, Newcastle, United, and wow, they really have got a bad run.
Oh yeah.
Good Lord, that's not good at all.
See, I counted that up as you're shouting them out.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at that and I think if they get 9 points there out of that lot, right, and that's like, I think I counted a couple of wins and 3 draws in all those fixtures at best. Do you know
where would you say they're getting points from? Go
on. Read them out again and I'll shout.
Right.
I'll shout
it. Here we go. So we are going Liverpool, Brighton, City, Fulham, Nottingham Forest, Tottenham. That's because I saw Spurs. You always like associated. Tottenham, Aston Villa, Burnley, Sunderland, Chelsea, Newcastle, United, and Bournemouth.
What? Right.
Burnley for me has got to be 3 points, right? Surely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, mate.
There's one other game there. I think they'll win.
Sunderland, maybe. Early on. So what you're saying to Brighton?
I think they might probably beat Brighton because they're struggling at the moment. Brighton, because I know they've won today, I think, but they were struggling before today. So that was how I counted it before the weekend. Though, to be fair, I thought they'd get about 9 points. And I think we've got 12 in us easy, Benji, to be fair.
Cookie Master. I thought I'm the one that has bad takes. Hold on a minute. We're not role reversing this.
I think we'll get the equivalent of 4 wins by the end of the season.
All right, you know what? Let's do the same with Tottenham then. Let's just see what we got. Right, here we go. So, Tottenham. Don't be a pain in the arse, phone, please. Sorry, 2 secs. I will bring this up. Right. Let's have a look at matches. Here we go. Right. So, we have got Arsenal next.
Yeah.
Listen, God be with you if you believe we're going to get something out of that game, but I am a thorough believer that God won't be with us.
I'm with 1 point for that. I'm going for it with 1 point. Go on.
Cookie. Okay. Fulham. Fulham is next after Arsenal.
Yeah. Fulham away, that is, isn't it? Fulham away.
It is. It is Fulham away.
Bit of a bogey ground for us, that Fulham.
This is what I'm saying, mate.
Play well there.
This is right. This is right. Crystal Palace following Fulham.
Yeah, that's
again. You don't know what Crystal Palace is going to turn up at the minute. Look, listen. They're a good team.
Out now a bit, though, isn't he? You know, he's going at the end of the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose. Maybe you're right then. Maybe we pick up points there. Following Crystal Palace, we've got Liverpool.
Zilch.
Yep, yoink. After that, we've got Nottingham Forest. Maybe.
It's a win or a draw for me out of that. If we don't draw at home to Forest, there's serious problems. We should be winning that game.
Cook, do you know what it is for me, mate? I don't trust our lily-livered fucking players, pal.
Well,
I don't trust our players. You know, like people are, oh, Igor Tudor, you know, he's going to do it. He's going to keep us up. Listen, I ain't being funny, mate, but if you look at this guy's history, he's not exactly, he's had, what's he had? I think 12 clubs in 8 years. He's not a great manager. I tell you, the only saving grace you got with Tudor, right, is that every club he goes to, he starts off really well. Really, really well.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it's just nosediving afterwards. I mean, you know, he gave sort of Juve here their worst run since 2009. Couldn't get a win in 8. His final 8 games. Galatasaray on for their 10th division title. Bottled it. They sacked him. Let's have a look here. You know, I think his biggest achievement really is probably finishing 3rd with Marseille, which is, you know, in a you couldn't finish 2nd in a one-horse. Do you know what I mean? For me, that's crazy. But look,
I get what you mean.
What I'm concerned about, Cook, right, is this: these players wouldn't get up for 2 previous managers, and they've been showing us what we've been watching for the last 2 seasons now. I almost feel like either these players don't have fight or they just don't give a shit about our club. So when people say Tudor's coming in, he's going to get something out of them. Is he? I'm not so convinced, mate. I'm really not. But right, anyway, following Nottingham Forest, we've got Sunderland.
Yeah.
That's a tough game for me.
Is that home or away?
That is away, mate.
Away. That's a difficult game, that. That will be a difficult game.
Burn my eyebrow off. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. For me, that's going to be a tricky game. And then we've got Brighton at home.
Yeah.
Brighton always give us a bit of trouble. Again, Brighton's always give us a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
I think
a lot of that game will depend where they are, if they're in any trouble or not, maybe.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
But, you know.
I mean, Wolves, naturally, you'd say that's an easy win. It wasn't so easy the first time around.
No.
Aston Villa, I mean, look, they've just got more quality than us. Their players show more fight. For me, that's probably a loss.
Yeah.
Following Villa, you've got Leeds United.
Yeah, it should be winning that.
You'd think so, right? You'd think so. And then following that, it's going to be 0 points at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
And then our final game of the season is Everton.
Yeah.
At home. So
yeah, I'll be wanting to take a point at least from that as well, to be honest with you.
You would think so. But what worries me, right, is I'm hoping we have this relegation stuff sorted by Chelsea, because I can picture Chelsea being a team that puts us down, and I can't have that. I cannot have that, mate. It would be really tough to take.
Yeah, it would be, especially if Arsenal went and won the league.
Yeah. So you think how many points we're getting out of that? Sorry,
I think we'll get about 12 points, something like that. I think we just reeled off 3 wins and a couple of draws there between us.
Yeah, maybe you're right then.
That was 11. So 11, 12 points would be enough. That would put us on 40, 41 points. I think apart from one time, it's been around 35 points, the third team that goes down.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you know what? I wanted to ask you a crazy question, right? And it's not something I'd want to happen because I love Mauricio Pochettino.
Yeah.
If Igor Tudor, 3-door, 4-door, manages to get just it's purely hypothetical, manages to get, and this is for you in chat as well, manages to get 9 out of 12 wins.
Yeah.
Right. Would you keep him for the following season?
In answer to that question, I don't know. And the reason being is because I want to see, you know what you said just now about, how is this fella going to do, how is he going to work miracles with this lot? We've watched them. Do you know what I mean? We know what they're about. And if they come out and perform tomorrow, people are going to be saying, well, where's that been for the last 2 years? You've all been stealing a living, taking the piss. Right? So really, in some ways, the players won't be able to win. But I think if he does manage to get a tune out of them in whatever way that may be, whether it be, just the new manager bounce, just the lift, the arm round the shoulder all week. And on top of that, whatever formation and tactics he's been trying to pump into him on the training ground, which won't be a lot. It will probably be fairly basic stuff that he's asking them to do. Yeah, but it will be different from what they have been doing, Benji. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
And I'm just hoping, I know we've got no forwards of what we call any quality, but I'm just hoping that, they do what he says. He's not afraid to play the long ball. He said that. He said, if, we can't play football and it's got to go long, it'll go long. There's no messing about. Do you know what I mean? Getting caught out and all that type of bit of business. So, if he goes long or whatever he's doing, he likes that ball straight through the middle of the pitch as well. That pass that Romero often tries to find straight down the middle to the centre forward when it opens up for him like that, Ben. You know what I mean? And he just goes straight through the middle.
Are you talking about when Romero picks the ball up and then trots with it for about 20 minutes?
That's it. That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
But he likes that, and he likes to get players around the ball, for instance. So if it was Solanke and it was going long, as soon as that ball's gone, not when it gets there, when it's gone, he's expecting 2 or 3 to get in and up around Solanke for the knockdown, for the touch, whatever, which we weren't doing before. It was just going long and bouncing back. So
he came out in that press conference. He came out in that press conference and he said, look, at this stage, it's difficult to implement a great deal. He said, what I will do is get us working as a team, because he says, when I watch Tottenham, that's not what I see. And he's right, to be fair to him. And he said, what we will be doing is attacking as a team, which again is something we're not used to seeing these days, I suppose, are we?
No,
it seems to be, it seems to be whenever we attack previously, it's like the forward line are left to their own devices. Do you know what? When I watch us play, it's like the defenders don't trust the attackers and the attackers don't trust the defenders. It's insane. But yeah, he has come out and he said, look, we are going to work as a team. This is his sticking point. This is where he wants to be moving forward, which fine. I get it. Great. But is he going to get a tune out of these players, mate? Will he? I mean, because the thing is, look, people say he's a big, tough guy. Now, I'm sure you remember Tudor from his playing days. He was a very good defender, very respectable defender. He's a big man. He's 6'4". He's hard as nails.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This is 2026, mate. If he goes in there with that sort of attitude to these little fairies that we've got that you call players, then I think he's more likely to make them cry than he is to get a tune out of them. That's my concern. And like you said, if it does work out and he gets a tune, you're also going to be kind of sat there thinking, where's this been for 2 years?
Yeah.
Why have you? Don't get me wrong. It is not all the players' faults. It goes far deeper than that. And I know you know this, but for me, What's going on with City? Is it still
2-1? Just gone 2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry, mate. I thought you could see. Sorry.
no, I've got it right next to me. I'm not even looking. Yeah, it's half time. There we go. Lovely job. Come on, boys. It's so funny. It's so funny. Like, you know, for the first time in my life, being a Spurs fan, it's so weird having to look at the teams around us in a relegation fight. When was the last time you can remember doing that, Cookie? I mean, I know you're a little bit older than me. What are you? You're probably 25, 26. I mean, I've only just turned 23, so...
It weren't good in the 90s, mate, to be honest with you.
I do remember that, the dark times.
Yeah, there was some times in the 90s that were good. I can't remember exactly what year it was. Was it the year was it 94 when Klinsmann came in and saved us?
Right, so I'm late 90s, mate. I'm late 90s.
I think he was here twice, but I'm sure it was the first time. If my I could be wrong. Someone will put me right. I know that we was really, really struggling, and he came in and he basically saved us from going down. Yeah.
Was it that bad? I mean, have a look here.
It's probably been other times as well where we've been sort of 13th, 14th, but not really in relegation danger. Do you know what I mean? Just lower mid-table, if you like.
It's just Cook. I find myself watching Forest games, watching West Ham games now with intent that I should not fucking have, you know?
Yeah,
when
I
watched these games previously, it's like, you know, now I'm sort of like, oh, you know, it's important, which is just what has happened to this club? What is there anything you can pinpoint that's got us to where we are right now?
Yeah, the owners.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Mentality is not aligned through the club.
No, it's not, and it never has been since.
Yeah, it's sort of there's the top Benji like that, and instead of it just going like that, it goes and out there somewhere and back there and over there and until you've got that straight line throughout the club, so everyone knows from whoever's in charge to the tea lady that makes the tea every week, yeah. Until everyone's aligned with that, mate, nothing will change. Nothing will change.
You're right. It's a tough commentary to make, but it's true. I mean, a winning mentality, it really does seep down from the top, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah, of course it does. Yeah.
You know, look at the likes of Abramovich when he took over at Chelsea. That man took no prisoners. What I wouldn't do for an Abramovich right now, I'm pretty sure there was a story that come out. And as soon as he took over at the club, he walked into that dressing room and he said, "We are here to win. If you're not going to be part of that, you are welcome to leave."
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what we are crying out for. But for some reason, somewhere down the line, we've lost our way, and it's just all become about money. You know, it's weird. Well, I look at Tottenham, and I do this to myself all the bloody time. Cookie, I'm going to ask you some questions. You ready for this? Quick fire. And I think this is where a lot of confusion comes from with fans, right? Because you look at Spurs, are we a big club? Are we not a big club? I'm going to throw some stuff out at you, and I want you to answer me, just like quick questions.
Yeah.
Is our stadium elite?
Yes.
Is our training facilities elite?
Absolutely.
Is our financial infrastructure elite in terms of money we make?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Are our owners in the top 10 richest owners in the world?
Oh, I believe so.
Right, so look at that for a moment. And I know, you know, people can laugh, but theoretically, we should be an elite level club.
Yeah.
And the way I've always looked at Tottenham, mate, we have a Ferrari body and a Rover Metro engine.
Oh yeah.
You know, it doesn't make sense. And I think this is where the confusion comes from with fans, because looking at the club as a whole, like if you didn't know football and you looked at Spurs, you'd think, oh, they've got to be an elite club. They've got to be right up there. Yeah. It don't make any sense, Cook. It really don't.
Well, everything's elite, Benji, apart from the football now.
Yeah.
Right. So they've got the stadium, they've got their, you know, all the other bits, the NFL, the go-kart. Yeah. We do this, we do that, we do the other. That's fine. Unfortunately for Tottenham Hotspur, and this is why up until the West Ham game, I've never been since Enoch have been in charge. Yeah, they know that money is in bricks and mortar. Right? What they've
Bingo.
done is that by building that stadium and not just making it a football stadium anymore and making it everything else that it is, with concerts and boxing, you name it, and all the other little bits and pieces that go with it. And this is a question I'll ask you in the same, to do with the same thing, right? So they've got everything there, right? And my feeling is on it, when you have got everything as far as infrastructure is concerned, and you haven't got the football, why don't you invest in the football? It might cost you, for argument's sake, I don't know, let's just 300 million quid, right? It's 500 million quid, whatever it is, right? But all that's going to be made back when, not out of prize money for winning an FA Cup, but for the exposure of it around the world. Then when you go and win a Premier League, you're exposed around the world. Everyone wants something of you. All of a sudden, instead of 2 people bidding for this contract for 5 million quid and they're tossing about over it, there's 15 companies bidding 200 million quid.
You got to speculate to accumulate at the end of the day. But
absolutely,
absolutely. Have we not always been?
Because they can make their money out of everything else, Benji.
But have we not been told this in the past, though, Cook? Because I can strictly remember the exact words from Mr. Levy were, anything we make goes straight back into the club.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, it's all bollocks. It's all bollocks, isn't it?
Cookie, do you know what it is like? For me, right, I've had this conversation a few times now. And if I'm brutally honest with you, look, we do spend, well, I hate to admit this, but we do spend the money. I think we're top 5 earners since Premier League begun, right?
Yeah.
Do you know where I think we go wrong? And bear with me on this one, right? Because
go on, mate.
Not everyone's going to agree with this. I think our biggest problem is wage structure, but I've got a theory, and this is where it goes off the deep end a little bit. I am, because it's hard to put your finger on exactly what the problem is. I am convinced it's almost like when managers come into Spurs and they ask for certain players.
Yeah,
it's like the board do individual checkups on these players. You know, they do sort of independent checks on the players that managers want to bring in, and they decide whether or not it's worth paying the wages for these types of players. The reason why I give you that example, right, is this: when Ange Postecoglou came out and said, "Look, after I finished 5th, there were certain sorts of players that were going to push us up after that," he said, Guehi, Mbuemo, Firmino. Now, I know Captain Hindsight is a bitch, and right now you're thinking, fucking hell, why didn't we go and get them players? But, you know, what Ange did, if what he's saying is true, because some people might go, wow, he's just talking shit. I personally don't think so. But if what he said is true, then what he did inadvertently was do some fantastic scouting, like we did with Van der Ven. He did some fantastic scouting because he looked at players before they caught fire and thought, I'll have some of them. Now, here's where it gets confusing for me. So Ange came out and said Spurs didn't want to pay the wages for these players. So what does that mean, Cookie? Because at the end of the day, these players wouldn't be asking for mass amounts of money, which is why I lead to my theory that ENIC do their own. Do you know what I'm getting at here? Like, do they do their own independent checks and say, no, we don't want to sign that player. We don't believe he's worth the 150,000 pound a week wages he's demanding. What else could it be at this point? You know, again, I know it's a bit of a far out there theory, but if you think about it, it makes a bit of sense.
Listen, at the end of the day, our first team squad or whatever it is, we're at 42%, Benji, of what we can pay in wages to revenue that we have coming in. Yep. There's teams like Villa that at the moment are pushing the
95?
boat out.
95?
96.
Oh.
So every time they want to buy a player, basically they've got to get rid of someone.
Yeah.
That's how loaded their squad is, though. You know, they're paying the wages, the top end, to get what they feel are the best players for the top end of the money that they can pay.
Bingo. I think I looked the other day and it's like 12 or 9 players over 100K.
Yeah.
You know, and like 7 or 8 players that are on like above 130, something along them lines. You know, I mean, it's weird. So when I mention wages, people naturally assume what I mean is like bumping up to the 250s or 300s. Don't get me wrong, and this is where it really pisses me off, Cook. We've had those chances. So under Pochettino, we were in that stage where we could go and attract players that you could pay, you know, 200-300 grand a week to, no problem. But we didn't because of that, because we wanted to keep the structure down. So when I talk about wage, even back then, it was a problem because it's like we didn't want to go out and pay for it, which doesn't. If you sit and think, it doesn't make any sense. What would convince ENIC to believe, you know, and the people that run the club, that paying wages to these top players around the world isn't worth the money? To me, it doesn't make any sense.
No,
I mean, you know, ENIC might be the strangest owners in world football. Truly, you know, we know their motivations, but you run a football club, you know, one of the bigger football clubs around the world. You know, like I said, Jeff, Ferrari body, mate, Rover Metro engine.
Listen, you're spot on with what you say, Benji. I don't know how we address it. Tottenham have been like it for years, to be fair. But what I will say is that we always had someone. We had Kane and Son. Do you know what I mean? For many years, even though it covered up a lot of cracks for Tottenham, which it obviously did, but we've always had someone. We had a Gaza. Going back, we had an Oddle, we had a Modric. Do you know what I mean? We had a Van der Vaart.
Always had that someone special. Always.
We always had that maverick type of someone special, a Ginola. You know what I mean? You could just keep going and going and going. There were so many, Sheringham. There were so many, right? Berbatov. And you just keep going on and on. But we don't have that at the moment. And I think, to be quite honest with you, right, you look at this season and I don't know, someone might say to me now, no, Cookie, you're wrong, right? But for me, our best player, has been injured for the majority of the season. And Simmons has come in. You know, it took him a while and I don't think we've seen anything like what that kid can do. Whether he gets to that point in the Premier League or not is a different matter. You know, we've seen him do it in other leagues. Whether he can do it or not, but you know, he is improving. I've seen him when he's running with the ball now. You know, 2 or 3 times he's had like 20, 30 yard, like lung bursting runs with a ball. And he's not the paciest fella, to be fair. And he's also been getting stuck in a bit, Benj, when he's losing the ball now as well.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing to see. You know?
Do you know what? It's a very, very good subject to talk about, because Xavi Simmons, so he's played 4 senior seasons in his career.
Yeah.
And 3 of them, he's got double GA out of 4, Cookie. Now, you are right. Look, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I would say up until about a month ago, let's be real, he has been absolutely shocking.
He hasn't been.
And one of the reasons, no. And listen, I'm not having a go at the geezer, because I'm a firm believer that he just needs time. And he's starting to come good now. Is he to the point where we want him to be? Not particularly, but he's getting there. And you know you've got a class player on your hands. I am fully behind him. I mean, I'll tell you something I heard about him the other day, which impressed me anyway. So, you know, there was a 2-week break.
Yeah.
Well, I was told. Yeah. I'm not 100% how true this is, but this is something I read. Apparently, a few of the players were allowed to go on a couple-day break, like a mini holiday.
Yeah.
Now, according to what I read, Xavi stayed behind and went straight to the gym and stayed in there. Now, if that's true, that's some mentality right there.
Yeah, fair play to him.
Mate.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I ain't got no problem with that whatsoever, mate. Fair play to the kid if that's what he's done. Do you know what I mean?
I like him. He's a good player. He just needs a bit of time.
He needs good players around him as well, Benji. This is it's just what we talk about. You're right. The magic roundabout, You know how it works. 1 minute we've got a good defence, then we've got a shit defence and a good attack. Then we've got an half decent attack with no midfield and half a defence. We've never got not everything, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. They just don't build squads, Ben. They don't build squads. They build teams, which take them 4 years to do that. Do you know what I mean? But even with Poch, he only really had 15, 16 players. It's not like he had 22, 24 that were all on the same level.
Cooks, let's have it right, mate. Pochettino was famous for having an 11.
Well,
the drop-off after that 11, mate, was monumental. If you remember at that time period, we were like, yeah, we've got a great 11. What happens if we get an injury? So when people say to me, Poch was backed, oh, fuck off. Do me a favour. Then people say to me, he had players offered to him. Now, here's the thing. If you want to go up and not stay where you are, I'm a bit of a believer that, Poch might have had some players offered to him and he might have said no. But what were the sorts of players he was offered? Were they players that he thought, well, they're not going to get me anywhere?
So what's the point? Was one.
In hindsight, that might have been a mistake. Fine. It happens,
There was 2 or 3 others. I know Tielemans was one of them. Phil might know if you're still in the chat. Phil, can you remember who Poch was offered? I know it was Tielemans, and he said no to him. And there was another couple as well, and I can't remember who they were. But Phil's in the chat; he might know, or anyone else in the chat if you know.
Yeah, by all means, please.
But it's Ben, it's hard, mate. It is really hard to be a Spurs fan at the moment and to be positive. Do you know what I mean? It's so difficult.
Oh, mate. Okay, do you know what? Shrewsbury semi on the subject. Talk to me about Mauricio Pochettino coming back. Where do you stand? If he does.
I've been quite clear on this, Benji, to be fair. If some way, shape or form that they manage to get him back, I think it will, number one, have to be under certain, I don't know if rules is the right word, but circumstances, as in a budget per season, so on and so forth. I think that also Poch don't work without Paul Mitchell at Spurs, because I feel like that he would have, for argument's sake, Poch would have a set of players, and don't get me wrong, there might be some that are more expensive up the market, but he would, for argument's sake, go, this is the type of player I want. You know how much they're spending, but this is what I want, right? Mm-hmm. If you can find it, centre midfielder, I want him to be 6 foot. I want him to be sticking his foot in, but I want him to be able to play football. Yeah. Go and find me that geezer. Paul Mitchell might go and find that geezer for 20, 25 million quid. Like you say, that's at a smaller club. Exactly what you were saying earlier, Benji. Why are we going for these players when they've already made the step to the Premier League? Yeah. They've come into that club for whatever. And then they're selling them on for 40 million quid dearer.
Yeah.
But this is what Paul Mitchell used to do. He used to go and get that player, when he was either at a lower level club or abroad or whatever. He was phenomenal, mate. From the players that they
I remember.
And they was under constraints money-wise, even then.
But you know what? Even without Paul Mitchell, though, hear me out. I know you. Listen, I am with you. Someone like that needs to come in. I am with you, Cooks. However, I will say this, right? The squad that Pochettino inherited, he did improve those players.
Yes.
He did make that team. So I hear what you're saying. And you'd like to think if Poch does come in, we're also going to bring in someone like a Paul Mitchell to back him up as well. But I would lean on Pochettino to improve these players. Now, I know some people might be like, "Oh, give me a break," but this is what Pochettino does. I mean, look at Chelsea. Pochettino found Cole Palmer at Chelsea, turned him into a superstar. He has this capability. So when people say to me, "Benj, come on, mate, You're living in the past. Don't go backwards. Pochettino's not an ex-girlfriend, mate. He's an ex-wife. We should have never divorced him. I'm a firm believer in that. And the thing is, look, listen, you bring him in, you're not just bringing nostalgia. Give me a fucking break. What are you doing? Straight away, you're bringing unity back between the fans and the club. You know, something that for me is irreversibly fucked, because now at this point, surely everybody knows Enoch are just fucking evil overlords. But he will bring back some form of unity, right? And I believe that will bleed onto the pitch. I truly believe that. Again, it might be viewed as a bit silly. You know, and on top of that, look, the guy loves Tottenham. And some people, again, will say it don't matter whether he knows Tottenham, whether he loves us. I think the way you can inspire players being in a club that you love, I think, is monumentally different to someone who doesn't have that feeling for a club, at least in my opinion. You know, again, his tactics. What's he got? He's got two style of tactics. He's got high press, you know, high intensity football. And if that doesn't work, he switches to counter attacking. You know, it's a philosophy. So he brings that with him as well. I'm trying to advocate for the fact that it's not just nostalgia this guy is bringing back. You know, he offers the club so much more than what some fans seem to think. I don't know if you agree with that, Cookie. Talk to me.
Listen, Ben, I think it's so difficult because, you know, Spurs have gone through over the last few years all different types of manager. You know, you go from your Mourinho's and your Contes who want to buy the best and make the best team out of the best players. You know what I mean? So why we employed either of them, to be fair, because we're not that team that does that. We're not a Chelsea. We're not a, you know, Man United who's, you know what I mean? We're just not that team, right?
For sure.
Then we've moved on and we sort of ended up further down the line with Ange, who was totally, you know, on the front foot and more. You know what I mean? Then we've gone to Thomas Frank, who talk about one way to the other. We've gone from to, do you know what I mean?
It breaks on to breaks off.
So, you know, we're buying players for all these managers, that are playing all different ways of football. Yeah, and I get what you mean with Pochettino. What I don't want is Benji, even though he didn't win anything and he did make mistakes along the way, right? That football that he played when he had that team running, right, for a good best part of 3 years, I would say, 2.5, 3 years, was scintillating. It was beautiful football, Benji, counter-attacking football. Do you know what I mean? Players working hard, like you said, pressing. But when you look, you had, you know, players like Dele Alli. Do you know what I mean? Come straight in from Milton Keynes Dons. Do you know what I mean? On the bench for a couple of games. Obviously said to him, look, I'm up for this. Took a couple of games to settle down and bang, away he went. You had 2 seasons of Dele Alli full on. Unbelievable.
Fastest to 50 goals than I think Gerrard, Lampard and Scholes. Dele Alli. Unbelievable.
Fantastic talent.
Even the likes of Moussa Dembele, when he brought him in from Fulham.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Dembele wasn't, I mean, god damn, is that the most underrated player in Premier League history?
Well, they had him playing as a forward or something, didn't they? Fulham?
Something. I think he was like a cam or a winger. I can't remember.
And Poch just brought him back into the centre of midfield, didn't he? And went, there you go.
What a player. Yeah. He was really strange to watch, that guy, because he weren't particularly quick, but he just sort of galloped past players. It's like he had a fucking barrier up, Cook.
Yeah.
Like, you will not come past this. What a player. I think his passing was a bit underrated as well. He was a decent little passer. He was great at you know, build up play and the give and go. Mate, he was such a good player. What we wouldn't do for a player like that right now at our club. Jesus.
Yeah, the only thing people had a whinge at him up for, Benji, was that he didn't score enough goals. but because he had a shot on him,
Yeah, true.
Dembele, he did have a shot
He
on him.
did. But you
But
know what? I think what he did
he was
without
wonderful.
scoring was just. I mean, if he added goals to his game as well, which I don't care that he didn't, to be honest with you, because he was so good
Yeah.
what else he
Yeah.
did. You know, I don't give a shit about the goals. That's fine, you know. But if he added goals to his game as well, good lord. Where would he be held in regards of being a world class player? You know,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
His physicality was unbelievable, to be honest with you. You know, like you say, the way he glided past players.
Yeah.
If he had two on him, do you know what I mean? He'd use
Like
his
nothing.
body. Yeah.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, very, very good. Balance, lovely balance.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone, at least I'm trying to think before I say this, I've not seen too many players as strong as he is and had everything to go along with it. He was agile. He had trickery. You know, he had a great footballing brain, that guy.
Yeah.
You know, but I think he quite possibly one of the strongest players I've ever seen on a football pitch. Definitely one of them. He was a monster of a man.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was.
Miss him.
Definitely. Yeah, man. Yeah. Players like that, mate, they don't come round very often.
No.
So you make the most of them while you got them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Going back to what you asked me earlier, and I still never answered the question. And this reminds me, you said about Igor. If he wins a lot, yeah. If he wins 9 out of 12, no, I wouldn't.
Okay.
Only because the reasons that you said. And I have noticed it as well. I've had a look, but he seems to start very well at clubs, and whether it goes on a downhill. So whether the belief gets lost on the players or whatever it is, but Benji is here for 12. So 12 games, if it was the start of the season and we had the 12 games, do you know what I mean? But he's got it tough, mate, now. Like you say, he's got to try and do something with these players that have done not a lot for 2 years and with a skeleton staff at the same time, Benji.
I think we've got 13 senior players.
It's mad.
Oh dear. What? I am convinced. I'm convinced we were cursed somewhere along the line. We must have been, right? Surely. Look with Igor. It's not people say, "Oh, Benji, you're too fucking negative about him." It's not that I'm not negative. It's not that I'm negative. It's just I think there were better options. I mean, you've got survival specialists in Harry Redknapp. For me, Cooks, and I'm not sure about you, Redknapp would have been my guy. He would have come in, listen, lad, you're a terrific player, go world class, get out of this. He could put an arm around the shoulder. And I hate to say this, but I feel like this is what these lily-livered little dickhead players we've got need. They need to be told they're super special. So for me, having someone like a Redknapp, a survival specialist, someone who's got Premier League pedigree, knows the club, knows what it's about, for me, that was the perfect sort of guy you could bring in. So when I saw this Igor 2-door, 3-door, 4-door come in, I sat there and I thought, what are we doing here? What this guy's resume is fucking terrible. But what's the plan here?
The plan is to get him out of trouble, mate. Basically, obviously Paratici's had something to do with it. We're not all bloody stupid. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Somewhere along the line, Paratici's been involved with that. I don't know how. Apparently, he was interviewed in December, and not interviewed. That's a lie. Straight out lie, that is.
Like shortlisted.
He wasn't interviewed. Paratici wanted him and he was shortlisted. Yeah, never got to the interview stage. That was in December.
Right.
Yeah? That's when, when did Frank take over? Start of the season, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yep.
So Paratici wanted him in December. And then the other two, Vinay and Langer, wanted Frank to stay, or one of them wanted Frank to stay, however it worked.
Yeah.
And then it all transpired that Paratici went off to Fiorentina, never to be seen again. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, Igor Tudor is in charge. So
think what you want of Paratici, but he was the only footballing man at this club that was in charge of something.
He was. He
Yeah,
was. So
I liked him personally.
I do. I didn't mind Paratici at all, really, to be honest with you. I didn't. I know he's a bit shady and all that, and he's doing whatever he's doing, but I just wanted someone to buy proper footballers for our club, Ben. You know what I mean?
Well, this is the thing. Like people say, like at the moment, you could accuse Tottenham of not being able to multitask when it comes to doing deals. With Paratici, this geezer would, he'd have one geezer on the phone and another four on, on hold.
Yeah.
The way he did business was fantastic, and the fact that you're letting a guy like that go amuses me, mate. I don't understand how that's allowed to happen, but it is what it is. But here's the thing: sacking Frank, it weren't even Vinay's or fucking Lang's choice.
No.
They were made to do it from the board.
No.
From the artist, mate. How are these people still in charge? I am convinced we are being sabotaged, mate. Convinced. What is our obsession with past failures? I want to go and get someone who failed, to sort out Aston Villa. Let's go get Lange. I want someone who failed at Arsenal. Let's go pick him up. And the big song and dance everyone made about getting someone like a Van Ivan contention. Oh, he's great. He's really sought after in the footballing world. Was he?
Was he?
I didn't see that. So I just, again, it's like it breeds failure. This club, the owners, they breed failure. How can you be so good, business wise, and so poor when it comes to the main reason why you bought a football club in the first place? Cookie, it blows my mind, mate. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not negligence. What's the word I'm looking for?
Oh, that's my word. That is negligence.
Not negligence.
Yeah. Negligence. Dilution.
Yeah.
Dilution, mate. That's my other word. The dilution of football at Tottenham Hotspur. Unfortunately, is how it looks at the moment.
Mate.
His standards, Benji, at the end of the day, even if you go back to Pochettino, at the end of his reign, forget about when they was all flying. Let's go to when, he started to have the dodgy results and they got rid of him. The team that was there then, look at that team there then and look at what you've got now. Yeah, and look at over the 7 years that players have left, what they've been replaced with, and who's here now, right? And you was probably somewhere between good and very good, yeah? And all of a sudden you've gone to average and below.
Nosedived.
The league don't lie, Benji, at the end of the day. 2 years of being where we are, it doesn't lie.
So it begs the question, is this the weakest playing squad we've had in 15, 20 years?
Could be longer.
That's a scary thought, mate.
Could be longer.
Which makes no sense given where the club have gone to. Because the club has risen in stature by a country mile from back in the day.
Of course.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying, Cookie. Make it make sense, buddy, because it's giving me a headache. How can a club rise in stature, in fan base, but drop in standards of actual football?
I think a lot of it is, Benji, because I think it just shows when Levy was here, right, that he would have dealt with most of the transfers that were going on. We know we lost a lot of players because of a couple of million here and a couple of million there, whatever, over the course of time. Now he's gone, right? And I look at it and I think, well, who's doing the deals here? Who's really doing the deals here now? Because I go like that, Ben, and I look up there and I think, all you people are money men. All of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apart accountants and bankers, brother.
Yeah. And Benji, unfortunately, right, when we talk about Spurs, and, bear in mind, they've just had a wipeout of the board as well. And all the people that they've brought in, apart from one geezer, Mawson, from City, that, like you said, they're all bankers, money men, and and whatever else. So, unfortunately, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club is not a bank. It's a football club. Do you know what I mean? So get people, if you lot can't be
afford me,
get people in that can go and find, even if it's not the best players, next to the best players or whatever is, compatible for Tottenham Hotspur.
Cook, that's what worries me now, mate. That's what worries me. What you just said concerns me right now. Given where, I mean, fucking hell, it bemuses me we're even in the Champions League, but given where we are as a club, who are we attracting now?
No one.
After this season, because we got no European football coming, mate. Who are we attracting at this point? Because the players that people like yourself, me, and the boys and the ladies and gentlemen in the chat want, we might be able to bring them into the club. We're not going to be able to attract players of significant quality. At least I don't think we are.
No.
But when you go to, I don't know, let's have a look here. Let's just say this Samu Agahawa kiddie, right, from Porto. Yeah. Now, I know I initially laughed at it, but his numbers are phenomenal. You're going to go to a player like him from Spurs and be like, look, listen, we want to bring you in. Bear in mind, this guy's going to have loads of suitors. We want to bring you into Spurs. What have we got to entice them in? By here's a lovely stadium, here's a lovely training facility, and that's it. We won a few things here and there.
And I'll tell you how it happens, Benji. Unfortunately, a lot of the players that are sort of up there in that sort of money range, because they want silly money for him, right? But
yes, 87 million, I think they were quoted.
Whatever it is, right? You're not going to see that. You're going to see now, instead of those types of players coming in, right? So if we'd have been, let's say, there, and that sort of price for that geezer was there, yeah, you could have had a chat about it, maybe. Do you know what I mean? And been in the conversation. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, we're there now.
Realistically, we've kind of been touching relegation. Well, not kind of. What am I talking about?
2 years.
We've been dancing with relegation for 2 years.
Yeah.
Tottenham Hotspurs, let that sink in. 2 years we've been dancing with fucking relegation.
Yeah.
I could have swore not so long ago we were in a Champions League final.
Yeah.
Could have swore. Must not have been Spurs. How do you nosedive off a cliff like that? It don't make no sense.
It's madness, mate. It's madness. But what going back to what you said, Benji, I think what you'll see is now, like I say, you've got that gap there now, and unfortunately, because Spurs have fallen so far, right, over the last 2 years, rather than going and getting that player now, and obviously that player will say, what do I want to play for them for when I can go and play for or right? So you're going to see now Spurs buy players instead of here. Players that just improve, yeah? And then when that little cycle runs out, it will go up a bit more and maybe a little bit more until you get to that point again where that 87 million
Cook, you know what we need. You know what we need. We need a fucking miracle. Yeah. We need a magic man. It just happens. I know exactly who one is. No, we need someone who's going to come in and get us back up that table and put us back on a level where we can be like, right, okay. I think if you bring Pochettino, right, this is how I'd look at it. I think if you bring Pochettino in, right, I think it's fair to say you give him a full year before you even start complaining. He went to Chelsea and they were in a bad way as well. He went to Chelsea. It didn't start working out for him at Chelsea till the eight-month mark, I'd have said.
Yeah, it was quite a way down the line, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, you've got, we bring him in. He's got a full year, no complaints. Provided we don't get relegated, no complaints for me. On God, you can quote me on this. If he does come in, I will not complain for a full year. I will give him that time. I feel like what he's done for the club, he's deserved it. Yeah, I know he hasn't won anything, but let's be real. He gave us the best footballing memories we've had in a very, 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 very long time. And after that, I feel like, again, bringing some more players, a little bit of spice here and there. And the following season, I think we could kick on. But the fact of the matter is that it's such a sorry state that we're like, okay, we're going to have to bring a manager in to steady the ship, to start churning out, decent results. But we know next year, no matter who comes in, God, I hope it's Poch, no matter who comes in, we're still not going to be back to where we were straight away.
No,
it's going to be a long journey, So whatever happens, I suppose what I'm trying to say is this ain't going to be a quick fix, what we've got at Tottenham right now. Despite what some people may think, throw money at it. You can throw money at it all you want, but you're still not going to be able to go and get the players that we need in order to do that. So this is going to be a long, hard process. And I think it's something we've all got to take into consideration, because we are no longer that Tottenham Hotspurs. We're not.
No,
we've been on a steady decline since Pochettino, realistically. And we've made some silly mistakes along the way. I mean, how dare you, Daniel Levy, bring in managers like Mourinho and Conte and not give them what they wanted? But where do you get off? But yeah, look, going back to what I said, this is going to be a long road, and the healing has got to begin from the start of next season. And God willing, we do bring back Pochettino, and we can start to rebuild from there. But mate, the immediate future, Cook, is glum, mate. It's not looking good, is it really?
No, it's not looking good, mate. And I can't believe how many comments you lot have got in here. I just can't even keep up. Look, I'm going like this, and they're just going up and up and up and up. We could talk forever, me and Ben, about, you know what I mean? Got the two worst ones on here. If we chucked Ellie on here with us as well, we'd be here all night.
Is she in chat by any chance?
Eh?
Is she in chat, Ellie?
I haven't seen her, mate. No, I haven't seen her.
I love her a bit. She's great. She is.
Yeah, she is. She's got so many tales to tell, Phil.
She does.
Bit like Lubo. You can sit there and have a chat with Lubo and say to Lubo, tell us about the 60s, Lubo. Tell us about the 60s. Do you know what I mean? And it's brilliant. It's great. And when I speak to him, and we talk about 70s and the 80s and that, and I'm like, well, yeah, I can remember being there. You know what I mean? And so on. It's great. I love talking about the old stuff. I do.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it just gives you a little bit of a cheer up, Benji. Do you know what I mean? Because it's been
it's better to think of the past than it is the fucking future.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, dear.
Absolutely. Big up to you, Paul. Let me say a few hellos to people that might have been in. Big up, Razzle. I hope you're well, mate, because you haven't been about for a bit, I don't think. So maybe you'd not been well or something, but I hope everything's all right now, mate. I hope you're okay. Let's have a look. See who we got here. Big up, Lee. Lee's in. The Butty man. Big up to you, Lee. I hope you're well, fella. Ghosted's in. Go on, mate.
Would you mind if are you all right to bring Mia on?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, lovely. I will send her the link.
She can come on, yeah. Yeah, by all means. Lee, there's just so many comments, honestly. CEM, big up to you. Nita, obviously. Nita's in. Tottenham Ranger.
I am so sorry. I've not been keeping up with these comments.
It's hard to get so many of them, mate. Once they get going in here, honestly, they chat between themselves. I love it, mate. It's great. Good luck to them. There we go.
It's nice. It's nice when you've got a little community like that, isn't it?
Yeah. It is nice. Yeah, some decent people in here, to be fair. Yeah, send it to her, mate. No problem. She can come on.
Yeah.
Might have a different view. Yeah, by the way, you 50 frauds in here, you know the score. 50 likes. Come on, you lot. I'm looking at the phone here. Look, 32. Have a word with yourself. We've been on an hour and a half for 32 likes. Come on. Sort yourselves out.
Shocking.
By the way,
is my mic coming through all right?
Yeah, you're clear as a bell, mate. Clear
good. I bought a new mic, and I think I've already been on a show today, and I've not even done any testing. I just sort of plugged it in.
Sounds really good, actually. It's nice and clear, mate. Yeah.
Awesome.
Coming through brilliant on here. Yeah.
Right.
You can sort Mia out at that end.
I think she is on her way.
Good stuff, mate. Lee Payne says 6 years ago our rivals were Liverpool, Madrid, and Barcelona. Now it's Brentford and Burnley. Let that sink in. Says it all.
Right, wrong, Lee.
Big up, Lee. Big up, mate.
mate.
Hell. It's not wrong, is he?
It goes back to what we were saying earlier, mate. We're finding ourselves watching, West Ham games with intent now and concern. It's funny because I sat there the other day and I was watching, who was I watching? I was watching a Forest game. And it dawned on me. I was like, I'm watching this game because I'm concerned about the result.
Yeah.
Like, Cook, what's going on, mate? What's going on?
Mate, I can't get my head around it, to be honest with you, mate, that we've been so bad. Do you know what I mean? I put last year down to the Premier League form. I mean, 22 defeats, that's shocking. Whatever it was, 22, I think. 22 defeats, shocking. And, with a reset this year, I was one of the people, and I don't mind saying, I wanted Frank to come in because I honestly did think that he was going to get them on a training pitch and get them playing, because you saw from Brentford, they could play a bit of football now and again. They had some tidy little players there.
Yeah, they did.
But again, it goes back to structure, Ben. Brentford are aligned. Everyone knows what they're doing. All
and he came out and said this as well. He came out and said this.
They're aligned, mate. They are. They're aligned. And by the way, I'd never heard Dan said that before. But they are. For me, they're aligned. And it's difficult, especially, perhaps not the most forward-thinking manager. And he's come into a massive club like Spurs, because we are a massive club, as in, like you said earlier, the structure of it and, the ground and the training ground, all that.
It's undeniable. Yeah.
Yeah. We're still a big club. And maybe it was just too much for him. Maybe it was the pressure was too much, Ben. And for whatever reason, you got to remember, these blokes are put in front of the shop window and they don't just have to deal with the football. If the bosses are saying, don't talk about this, don't talk about that if you're asked, and whatever else, that they almost seem like they're deflecting all the time, or a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? Like with Thomas Frank, I don't know, it started off all right, and then it just went, when he started giving it we lose some games, we will draw some games. And
I promise you one thing, we're definitely going to lose some games.
Yes, yeah, we go. Yeah, well, we know that, Thomas. Do you know what I mean?
Cheers, mate. That's just what we needed to fucking hear. Nice one, pal. No, do you know what? Can I tell you where I stand on Thomas Frank, right? I'm going to be really honest with you. So we all know Ange's good points. Big up, Mia. We all know Ange's good points. Ange is a decent little manager, but we knew his shortcomings. And bringing in someone like a Thomas Frank, we felt like, and I think most of the fan base did, we felt at the time Frank ticks the box that Ange isn't. So someone that is a tactician, tactically astute, someone that's flexible, someone that can improve the players, because Frank did improve some players at Brentford. There's no two ways about it, right? So initially, your thoughts of bringing him in, you're like, well, why not? It's a good appointment. I think that the only problem with him is he didn't have any credit in the bank. He's never won anything. When he came up from the Championship with Brentford, he didn't even win the Championship. So he's never won nothing. So that credit was never really there. And people said sort of mid-season, Frank's lost the dressing room. Guys, can I be really honest with you lot? I don't think he ever had the dressing room, if I'm brutally honest. And like you said a minute ago, the main reason why he's gone is I just think he was out of his depth. I don't think he's a bad manager. I don't, despite what we've seen, because I've watched Brentford for a few years. They were really good at times, and that is by and large thanks to Frank. So, for me, I don't think he's a bad manager. I just think he was massively out of his depth. And you got to think, right? Here is a manager that's never been at a big club. So there's an adjustment period for him as well. But the problem is Tottenham are in such a way that we don't have time for a manager to have an adjustment period. We need someone that's going to come in, bang, 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 fix problems, not learn by mistakes. And unfortunately, that's something that Frank did. So it's a shame. But big up, Mia. How are we doing? You all right?
Yeah, eventually when you send me the right bloody link. God,
Sorry.
mate, don't ever make this guy a technician of anything, mate. Tell ya.
She's going to give me a bucking and chew me balls off now. Sorry.
I love it. Me is straight on.
She just comes on to get at me. That's it, really.
See, we haven't really spoke, Mark, because when I was around, you wasn't like around in that much, and so I didn't really get to talk to you. But I spoke to the other Mark more, like I spoke to him before and stuff. So yeah, you don't know what I'm like. I'm quite direct with what I say. Like I say what I say, and I mean it. You know what I mean?
I've heard you before, Mia. Don't worry. I've heard
two words. Firecracker is what Mia is. Firecracker.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. There you go. Anyway, go on then, Mia. Give us your what's your impressions of Igor Fodor or whatever Benji calls him, and what's he going to do for Tottenham? Is he going to get us out of trouble, Mia?
I think that he's got a record of short term being actually all right. It's long term that his record isn't particularly good. He kept Udinese up, and I think like he's got a track record, like I say, of coming in and being a bit of a fix-it man. So I'm hoping that's what he is going to do. I'm hoping that's going to be the case with us. And we saw that he took out the players for a meal. It looks like he's doing a bit of bonding with them. And so far, what he's been saying, what Benji's going to say is, it's just media stuff, says the guy who loves and licks off bloody Pochettino, whatever he says, but he don't listen to Igor Tudor because no, that's a step too far, right? Anyhow, we digress. But the fact is that I think that he is going to come in and he's quite like his presence. He's got quite a presence about him. Yeah. And I think that will be good for the players. I think that he said, something about knowing the players knowing what they need to do, which is obviously means that Thomas Frank didn't tell them maybe enough what they actually need to do on the pitch to attack. I think that he obviously is going to tell them, this is what I expect of you. So I think so far, everything that he seems to be gearing towards is actually pretty all right. Like we don't know because obviously action's more important than words. So we'll have to see. But the game with Arsenal is tricky, you see, because it's not exactly, it's a bit of a baptism of fire, isn't it? Because they're currently top. We're currently fighting relegation. So it's obviously going to be a bit of like I say, baptism of fire for him. I don't expect, I expect to not the greatest game, if you like at the end of the day, I want it to be improved to what we've done. But if we drew or lost, I think nobody will be shocked, Mark. Let's be honest. Do you know what I mean? Like guys, we're not going to be shocked. So I think that even if we just see some progression with our attack, I think that's going to be like, right, okay, at least we can see he's putting into them to attack and not to be so scared and be so defensive. So I think that's what he will bring. So he likes a man-to-man press.
Yes, yeah, likes to get players around the ball. Like I said to Benji, he's not scared to knock it long, but he wants players to get up around that player that's receiving the ball up the field. Do you know what I mean? When we've got the ball, rather than what we saw with Thomas Frank a lot, like I said to Benji, ball will be cleared up to Solanke, Richarlison, whoever was up there, and it just bounces back and the next wave comes again. Do you know what I mean? So in some way, shape or form, we have got to find, if you like, a way out. Do you know what I mean?
And don't forget, he's actually had Mawani as well. So if he can get a bit more out of him too, that's obviously also a plus, because he's the kind of player that you need to get the balls into him and he runs onto them. That's how he scores his goals. So I think if we play to his strengths more, I think Thomas Frank didn't do that enough. He didn't play to players' strengths enough. So we know that's Mawani's strength and so does Tudor. So I think that's obviously another positive that we can say that possibly he might be able to maybe get a bit better out of him because he knows how to get the best out of him. I'm not saying he's going to be a world beater, don't get me wrong, but I think that he can definitely contribute maybe a bit more, playing a bit like more how he is better, like what's better for him.
Yeah. So, in other words, by knowing him at Juventus, he's obviously spent a bit of time with him before. Maybe knows a little bit about him before he's got into the club, and maybe can get stuck into him a little bit to get him firing and score a few goals. I get where you're coming from with that, Mia.
To be fair, Mawani did 8 in 6 at Juve, and I'm assuming that was under Tudor, right? Well, I mean, to be fair, that's not bad, really, is it? That's pretty decent for a striker, especially someone that, in their first season on loan. I mean, I'd certainly take that at Spurs right now, that's for sure. But Mia, did you pre-fire me before I even got a word out a minute ago? I know what Benji's going to say.
Yes,
Thanks. I couldn't even put up an argument before you jumped on me. Cheers, man. Appreciate that.
No worries. And nice to see Scott M's never changed. Nice to see the positivity. None of our players have got any talent, so let's not field anybody then, eh? Let's just put on invisible men because we ain't got no players that got no talent. Cool, man. That's what we're going to do.
I'll have none of that. Do you know what, Scott M? I don't always agree with you, mate, but I'm going to be honest. I agree with you, mate. It's
they're not all talentless, though. Come on, Benji. They wouldn't have got to the Premier League. I don't think they got to the Premier League level if they were rubbish because so many players don't get through. So many players
We've been fighting relegation for 2 years, me. Come on now.
We haven't been. Andrew's. We were 13 points clear, man. We were well clear, and he knew that, man. I don't think that we were fighting last year. We were. We were.
Maybe we weren't fighting, but we were teetering. We were right. If it wasn't for clubs being dog shit last season, we would have been.
So if my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle, man. Like,
that's
what are we doing
very good point.
here?
She would have been.
So like, what are we doing it? If mutts cut mutts and babies, like what are we doing? Like we can't do if mutts and babies, man. We just need to like. Do you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, that we were quite ahead in then. And I think this season we expected more from Frank. Everybody said Frank's going to come in and do better. I said between 9th and 7th, right? I wasn't trying to give him a high expectations. He didn't achieve that because we did have a lot of injuries, I must say. And I'm not going to not say that because I did with Ange. But the fact is that he could have got better at the players that he did. He did certain things that you're like, why are you doing that for? And like certain times he wouldn't make changes when it was so obvious and overplaying certain players and stuff when you're thinking they're going to get injured any minute now. So he did do things that obviously did contribute to us being in that position. But should we be in that position? No, nobody thought that this season. Nobody predicted 17th this season, man. Nobody. Not one person when Frank come in said that.
No,
not one person.
So tell me this, what's the general consensus amongst us and you guys in the chat? Tell me. And I'll just say, I don't rate these players at all. I think they're a disgrace. However, I don't think they're 17th, 16th, 15th worthy. I'd have put them a lot higher up the league than that. So my question is, despite what we've seen, are these players better than where we currently are?
Yes.
Yes,
okay.
100%.
Okay.
Otherwise, everybody would have predicted 15th, 16th this year, wouldn't they? If that was the case, Benji.
Yeah, I don't know how much better they are, but I would say to you, I mean, I said, Mia's just said, she said between 9th and 7th. I said, after 17th last year, if Thomas Frank can come in, improve a few of the players, couple of signings, I thought if we could get a Conference League place, and that is exactly what I said, if we could get a Conference League place, teetering on a Europa League, but as long as we got some sort of Europe, good stuff. That'll do. That's a good start. That'll do me. And then we go on to next year. But never worked out like that, did it? And it hasn't this season at all. It's been a
you're right. You're right. I mean, I was 6th to 8th. That's what I was hoping because, and I only said that because the amount of injuries Ange had.
But if you said 6th to 8th, that means you rated the players higher than what they currently are, Benji. That just doesn't make any sense. You thought they were
the previous season, most of our best players were injured. Our back line was a joke. So, you didn't really get to see the full squad strength at all last season, really and truly. We had a makeshift back line for.
So we didn't this season, but we didn't this season, and we still ended up where we're at because you still rated the players high enough to be up that far. So that doesn't make any sense. And now all the players are rubbish. Make it make sense, man.
No, I'm hearing. Don't come for me, Mia. I'm trying here. Hold on. Give me a second. All I'm trying to say is, and again, I'll go back to it. What we saw last season was a shit show, but there were so many of our important players out for a vast majority of last season. What I'd seen prior to that, I thought these are decent players, but we've not got to see the full strength of Tottenham Hotspurs for the last 2 seasons running. We've had ridiculous amounts of injuries, but I won't lie, what I have seen this season hasn't been good enough, because aside from really and truly Maddison and Kulusevski, who are without doubt our best technical footballers, like what I'm trying to say is the players we've got this year, we've had, well, I suppose he's out at the moment. We saw a lot of Kudus. We saw a lot of Van der Ven and Romero. Our back line has been pretty consistent most of the year, and we can't even defend. So what does that say about them? We've brought in players.
That says that basically we are playing not to the strengths of our team because we're relying on our defence to be constantly in a defensive mode and not trying to attack. So if you've got the ball, they can't score because you've got the ball. That's what they say. Attack's the best form of defence, and we did not do that this season. We've just
where
been
do our
playing
strengths lie then? If that's your opinion, where do our strengths lie as a team?
I think our strengths does actually lie. Our defence isn't awful, but I think the fact that we've had Xavi and we had Kudos at the beginning of the season. He didn't use Xavi. He took out Sarr when Sarr was playing well. So we actually have got some players that were doing well, and he overplayed them and then ended up getting Kudos was injured. But we have actually got like Xavi to be that creator, and he's showing himself now that he actually is really good. He just needs maybe a little bit of time to settle and to keep being played a little bit to get into that mode, maybe a bit quicker than what he would have not being bloody played. So he didn't play to the strengths what we have actually got, Benji. That's my problem, man.
I mean, I guess I understand that point, but for me, regardless of playing to his strengths or not, and again, we've already discussed Xavi. I think he's a great player, but I won't deny I think he's been part of the problem this season. He has been terrible. It's only been the last month or so where he started to sort of come to the forefront and started to show us what he's about.
Yes, but you not think if he was played more that he would have come to the forefront a bit quicker? Because if he wasn't dropped all the time.
No, you're right. Maybe it's a good point. It's a good point you make, but either way, when I watch a footballer where the commentators take the piss out of him for 65 minutes for not being able to complete a pass, I'm just saying, even under Frank, Xavi probably should have done better than what he did. And again, I don't want to berate the guy because, look, listen, I like him. I think he's a quality player. His career so far speaks for himself. I mean, me and Cook were talking about it earlier. He's had 4 senior seasons and 3 of them he got double GA, which is absolutely amazing.
And you know what else?
Go on.
Do you know what else is good about him? The fact that he could have stayed at Barca and just said, "Oh, look, I'm at Barca," but he didn't. He actually wanted to play football, which says a lot about him as a person. That he's got that drive to actually do well and play football, which I like. I like that attitude, man. That's obviously that's a good attitude to have.
Did you hear recently, me? So recently, the players were given a bit of time off.
He stayed in training, didn't he?
He didn't go nowhere. He put his little ass straight into the gym, and I think you've got to take her out off for that. I think that shows fantastic mentality as a player, But look, I mean, I suppose moving forward, Mia, I'll ask you outright. Do you have faith in the fact that not fact is that's not right? Do you have faith in the point that Tudor can get more out of these players than Ange and Frank? Do you have any sort of faith that that's going to happen?
Yes,
you do.
Not more. Yeah, not more than Ange, because Ange won us a trophy, so obviously not. But I don't think we're going to win the Champions League. But yes, I do. I do have faith that he's going to get more out of them than Frank, because Frank is like a wet wipe. Like he's a wet wipe person. Like he's got no charisma. And I think these players need someone with a bit of oomph to sort of explain to them we need to attack and not just sit on the bloody halfway line worrying about defending all the time. And he won't do that. He'll want to actually attack. He'll want to be direct. He don't want to play this like defensive type football. Although he does play through at the back, he doesn't play in a defensive way. He likes to get the ball up the pitch quickly.
Do you think?
True. That is true.
Okay, this is something, guys, that's driving me crazy. This false sense of security around Tudor.
Benji, before you carry on, Benji,
Yeah.
can I just? Are you all right? All right, just for 2 or 3 minutes while I go and top me tea up. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine, mate. That's no worries.
Up, please, Cookie. No
all
sugar.
Right, no worries. Yeah, I'll send it DHL, Mia. You'll have it in the morning. All right.
might be a tad cold. Right.
Benji.
Is gone. All right. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be nasty now, Mia. Sears is gone. Right. Can you explain to me why you have this blind faith in a manager, right, that you didn't even know was a manager up until a week ago? Where do you get off?
I didn't say blind faith is a word that you're using, which is putting words into my mouth, because I did not actually say I've got blind flipping faith. So don't start.
You've got faith in someone who you didn't even know was a manager.
No. Blind
by the way.
faith.
It's loads of us.
No. Blind faith means that you've got not the hindsight. You're just doing it blindly and having faith in something that you're not sure, that you don't know too much about. You're just going, I've got blind faith in them. So don't start adding words, right, to sound clever, because you ain't. Okay, cool.
Yes, mummy.
Now that we're clear, carry yourself on. Yeah, carry on.
I don't think I want to now. No. So my point being is, right, I'm seeing a lot of people that have got this overconfidence, this faith out of nowhere over a guy they didn't even know was a manager up until a week ago. And my question to people is this: what makes you think this guy, this 6'4" Croatian giant, 2-door, 3-door, 4-door, can get a tune out of players that Frank and Ange couldn't? Where is this faith coming from here? Talk to me. Come on, Man City, by the way. They've just beaten Newcastle. I love Newcastle, but fuck that. Mate, we don't want Arsenal winning the title. Come on.
Well, I don't know, because you've said stuff, but I'm not going to repeat what you've said. Anyway.
Don't get me in trouble. Don't get me in trouble. Okay? I'm not sure I like the Monster community as it is. Don't fuck me even worse, please. I said one thing, one boo-boo.
So basically, I think that what it is obviously we keep going back to Ange, and I don't think Ange didn't get the best out of the players. I think that actually what happened was he prioritised a chance for us to win the cup, and that's why we dropped down the table. If we would have finished, I don't know, if we would have finished 12th, would people still be saying the same? I don't know, because 12, it doesn't matter because we won the trophy. So what I'm trying to say is I don't really include what Ange did with them, because he had them very much on side. You can tell. And what he even said in the overlap, the way they reacted when he left, you can tell. So I think that Frank didn't have these players on board. And I think that what he was saying wasn't really good, because he was a bit like, maybe the way he says things isn't the greatest. Like I've always said, I don't really take much notice, because the journalist is always going to try and get a clip out of someone. So I'm always a bit skeptical about the journos, but the way that he said stuff, I'm like, he could have said the same thing, the exact same thing, well, the same point in a different way to come across a little bit better. And I didn't criticise him. I just said, like, come on, man, you could think I could easily have answered that question in a better way. On my toes, I can think of ways to say things, but saying it a bit of a better way. And he just didn't do himself any favours. If you hear your manager constantly going on about Arsenal, like, that ain't a good look. Like, some of the stuff that he was saying, it just doesn't come across very well to the players, and I think that does make a difference, because they're human after all. We forget this, but players are human, and they do, like, not judge people, but they're gonna think to themselves, hold on a second, mate, why do you keep talking about Arsenal, man? Like, this is Tottenham, and you're talking about the rivals. They're rivals that they hate. They're bitter rivals, and bigging them up and saying we're going to lose games. Who says that? We know that, but you don't need to say that. There's another way of saying that you're going to try your best to win all the games possible, but sometimes obviously things don't always go as you want them to. That's how you say that exact same sentiment in a different way. So I think a lot of those things were things that the players didn't get on board with, where I think Tudor knows how to speak to players a bit more. You get that vibe from him. He's got a bit more about him to say things in a bit of a better way. You know what I'm saying? So I think that even that alone gives you a little bit more from those players.
I'm going to dig you out here, seeing as you did it to me. Based on what? Based on what? What makes you think he can do that?
Because basically, if he wasn't able to do that, Benji, why was he able to be successful in short-term periods at different clubs? Because if you've got to have something about you to come into a short-term a club who you don't know the players, but you can still get good out of them, that says a lot about him as a person. Boom, roasted.
You know what? Fair enough. I will step back on that. You are right. You've got a very good point there. There you go. You happy now, Mia?
I always do. Man.
You won.
Because I tell you what, I'm quite a logical person. When I say things, I've got quite a logical brain when I try and think things through, and that makes the most sense, right? So if it makes the most sense, it's the more likely thing.
By the way, Cookie, can I advertise on this channel?
Of course you can, sir.
Guys, please go over to the Lone Wolf. Mia runs that over there. She's doing a great job. We did a video together recently. It was a lot of fun. Didn't really want to stop talking, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, try and get over there and subscribe and like any videos you can. It would be appreciated. Mia is a fantastic content creator, and she knows what she's talking about, clearly. And she loves to dig me out. So if any other reason you want to go and subscribe, it's because she loves to dig me out. So yeah, go over there if you can.
Well, there you go. And I'll just add to that. Yeah, make sure you do get over to Mia at the Lone Wolf and get over to Benji at the Hotspur as well. No doubt most of you have, but get over there anyway to help him and Dan out. And obviously, hit the sub for us. We're flying. We are flying. We're over 850 now, nearly 860. I think we've done nearly 150 subscribers in 3 weeks.
That's
so
brilliant.
You're putting in the work, though, Cookie. You're putting in the work.
We're really
I've
going
seen
well at the moment. So, yeah, keep subscribing, keep liking. And just before I let you carry on, 7 more likes for the 50. We're at 43. So, if we can...
Come on, guys. It's free. It's free, guys. Hit that like button.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? I don't even want to say that because I haven't liked yet. That's shocking. Sorry, Chris.
No, and we've had 3 subscribers tonight, up to 861. Brilliant.
Let's go, guys.
Brilliant.
Huge.
Keep it going, everyone. Keep it going. You keep subscribing. We'll keep putting the shows on. It's as simple as that. Absolutely. And of course, Benji and Mia, they've also been enticed by the old shirt giveaway at 1,000 subscribers. Do you know what I mean? So perhaps that's had something to do with it. Who knows? Not that I would buy it from Nick, of course. I've made it very clear it won't be coming from the Tottenham shop. I've made that quite clear. Because I don't buy anything from there. So it'll be one of the other shops that are advertising on these streams, maybe. But I know they're decent quality because I bought a 1993 Holston shirt for my son.
Oh, I love those shirts are the best.
Yeah, last week. And all I would say is if you get anything, buy a size bigger than what you are. But apart from that, the quality is amazing. And I ain't being funny. It's weird because I said, show me the labels in the back of the T-shirt. And they was all Tottenham labels. Where'd she go? She's gone.
She can't stand us, Cook.
I know, mate. She's
How dare really she? Nice. You bring her onto a show and she disappeared.
Yeah, dodgy signal probably.
Oh, geez, I'll tell you what.
She's back.
Mia's a bit. Yeah,
I'll let her in. Yeah,
she's wonderful, and I'm so pleased she's back. And I told you she wasn't going anywhere, Cook. I don't know what you're worried about, mate.
I know what you're saying, mate. Jesus. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
And so I could just rewatch what you just said, Benji. You think I'm stupid?
Sorry. Oh,
mate,
I'm sorry.
You might have been born yesterday, but I bloody wasn't.
You ain't wrong, to be fair. So you're doing a shirt giveaway on 1,000 subs, are you?
Yeah, we just do a little shirt giveaway. All the subscribers, we'll stick them all in a little pot and see what comes out of it. But yeah, we're going to sort that out for when it happens anyway. So yeah,
you're not. How far away are you now?
We're on 861.
Getting there. You are very, very close.
Yeah, very, 139 more, and we're there. Beautiful.
Yeah, that'd be big.
Absolutely beautiful.
That's a bit of a landmark, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I almost think like when you get it, don't mean that you stop what you're doing, but I think you class as a YouTuber, you class 1K as a big achievement.
Yeah,
and then
of course
you just keep doing your thing then, and then obviously more people will get involved, and like people like yourselves that have got your own channels and stuff like that. You bring people over to watch shows. I'll go on other shows, and some of my people might not be subscribed to them and whatever. You know how it works. So
Well, I
we've
mean,
got
can I just say, I've got to say, Mark, right? I do watch and join you two when you do your shows.
Yeah.
I think for me personally, when I watch stuff on YouTube, I want to watch real fans. You know, real fans that talk about real conversations. And yeah, for me, you boys are about as real as it gets. I genuinely do enjoy your streams, and the same goes for me here as well. You know, people that are down to earth.
Look, Benji, there's no point telling lies. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're all on here. You see what you see from your perspective, and you put your points of view across. Mia does exactly the same. I'm
That's what it's all about.
Sheriff does the same. Nige does the same. Yeah. And one thing we said when we started this channel was, don't bullshit. You know, say it as you see it. If people don't agree with it, that's fine. We'll talk about it. Do you know what I mean?
And don't let money corrupt. So when I slip your $5 to win that shirt giveaway contest, I'm sure you won't give it to me.
That's between me and you, Benji. If you want to up it a bit to £7, you might be in, mate. You know what I mean?
Deal, mate. Done deal.
Yeah, all right, mate. So turn the mic off. You're not supposed to say that. When you're,
Oh dear.
So Mia, do you see us nicking a point tomorrow? Come on.
Yeah, I've predicted a 2-2 cookie. I think 2-2.
Yeah, I've gone 1-1. I've gone 1-1, Mia. I think we might get something out of it tomorrow. I don't know. Benji's shaking his head. He's probably gone 3-1 or 3-0 or something like that.
He's going to say 10-0 to them.
He's
terrible, mate.
Pumped. Listen, I love you guys. I love your opinions and I respect them. But for me, you're both very delusional. Okay? I'm sorry. Please don't be angry with me. But if you think we're getting a result against one of the best teams on the planet in our current state, then I don't know what to tell you. We are getting pumped 5-0.
Hold on a sec. Have you not? Now. Are you trying to say that we're worse than Wolves? Wolves just gave them a game. So what's saying that we can't get a point? If they're the worst team in the league, technically, because they are bottom, how can you say that we can't get a point from them if they bloody can? If you play football against them, they shit themselves. You've seen them. Look, when they scored that one goal, they were wasting time, and look what happened. Like, they're not actually that great if you actually play football against them.
Fine. Right, as a team, they may not. You know, in terms of like players, they may not be better than us, but as a team, I think they are, and I think they show more fight than what we do. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I think lately they've been actually a bit not actually that good because they've been losing their heads a bit. The pressure's on them, you know. There's a lot of pressure on them now to do something in this game. And you saw how they lost their heads. They lost their minds, man. They lost their minds. So
well, fine. Answer me this then. So when a team is down, when a team is struggling, when strikers haven't scored a goal, who's that guy that comes along that could? Dr. Tottenham. We'll put Arsenal back on track, and you're going to see that tomorrow at 4:30. I hate to burst your bubble, but I don't know.
I'll tell you what, you're wearing the wrong colour shirt, ain't you, mate? You should be wearing a red shirt, singing North London Forever, mate.
Listen, it's not that.
Stop
I love my club,
and I have mate. No, you're meant to be a Tottenham fan.
I don't give a shit. I'm not blind to what I see. I'm not this like arrogant Spurs fan that can't see the forest through the trees.
I'm not like that either, Bennett. I'm pretty honest, you know. I'm pretty like fair down line. I'm not saying we're going to beat them, but I think if they can get a draw with Wolves, who are going down, who are getting relegated, why can we not get a bloody draw against them?
Fine. I tell you what. How's about this then? It's not that I don't trust Arsenal won't bottle it. It's that I don't trust these fucking players to show their heart to get us the result. Is that fair?
No, because I don't think that. I think that they will, because I think that the Thomas Frank effect made them lose heart. Because in games we've seen it when we've been down and they have come back, so they have got it in them. Because we come back against City.
And Ange, they were doing the same thing under him. 22 losses in the league. What's your excuse for him?
I told you, when we were playing in the league, we didn't, from January, he prioritised getting the Europa, and they've said it. The players have said it, and Ange has said it. And that last, like, come on, man, the last game as well, they were all still bloody drunk. So that's one game that you can give them at least a very good excuse for that. But honestly, they were going for the Europa. They said it by January. They knew they weren't going to go for the league.
And I'm sorry, but and that's an excuse for performing the way they did for losing 22 games. Are you telling me you couldn't throw a performance in maybe here or there?
Well, he kept resting players, didn't he? Because obviously he wanted them because we had so many injuries for the Europa. I don't care. We won a trophy, man. I'm not even bothered. I'm like, I don't care about.
For sure. But I don't see how you're trying to tell me you think we're going to get a result tomorrow.
A result is a point. I'm not saying we're going to beat them. I'm not saying for one moment that we're going to beat them. To get a point when someone like Wolves can get a bloody point from them, I don't understand your logic.
Because they're one of the best teams on the planet.
Oh, they're not the best team. God's sake, get your tongue out their arses, will you?
They're one of the best teams on the planet.
They're not. They're so
really? So
not.
Tell me, who's currently at the top of the Premier League?
Right. I understand what you're saying. Just because they're top, right? They're top, yeah, but they're not. Just because they're top doesn't make them. The way they play football ain't the best you've ever seen, man. Even when Jose played Chelsea and he won, they played better football than what Arsenal play.
I mean, look, listen. 2 years ago, for me, Arsenal were the best footballing team in the country, and he's adapted his style to sit back and pray VAR help us out. It's working for them because, again, they're top of the Champions League and they're top of the Premier League. So I hear what you're saying, but that's not lies.
Yeah, but we were fourth in the Champions League. Hold on a minute. We're fourth in the Champions League and we're 17th in the league. It doesn't mean an F all, clearly. We were fourth in the Champions League, for goodness sakes.
Did you see our run, though, Mia?
But it's matter. That's not what we're saying. No. You can't caveat it because then you're using the Arsenal one. Oh, well, who did they play then to get first? So you can't caveat it like that, man. We're not doing caveats with, oh, well, now I've got an excuse because we finished fourth.
We did have the easiest run. You cannot deny that.
We had a good run, but I'm trying to say to you, it's not logical to use them up being first in the Champions League when we finished fourth and then saying we're so crap and we're 17th in the league and then just say, well, we must be crap because we live. What about the fourth place we finished in the Champions League? Then you're holding up that stupid team up the road for. Oh, yeah, you haven't got an answer because you're not logical, man.
Because I don't understand. I'm not logical. I'm not logical. Negative for negative sake. Somebody help me here. Arsenal are one of the best teams in the world right now.
Oh, God. Stop saying that. That's disgusting. That comes out of your mouth, man. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
I hate them no less than you, but I see what I see.
Listen, see, I'm going to jump in here, right? I don't mind splitting this one in half. Right? See, for me, they ain't the best team.
Okay.
Right? They're not the best team. They're a very good team. Right? What I would say is that they're probably got one of the top 4 squads in in European football. Let's put it that way.
Which is why I said one of the best teams in the world.
Top
right
4,
now.
I would say squads. Now that don't mean they've got the best team by any stretch of the imagination. But what Arsenal have got, what a lot of teams haven't got, is that even if they was in our position now, right, with 11, 10, 11, 12 players out, they would still have enough to put out a proper first 11. And this is the difference between them and what they've built over the last 5 years. And I'm not licking their arse, Mia, by the way. Yeah, I'd hope you'd look at it like logically, like you said. Yeah, they haven't won anything. They haven't
I agree
won
with you.
Yeah, Mia, logically.
No,
but over the last 5 years, number one, you know, while we've all been saying Arteta's a bottle job, that's fine, right? And because he is, right? But they have improved massively because the structure of their club is aligned. Again, like I said with Thomas Frank at Brentford, the younger son's come in, Josh. He's aligned it all out. He's got the right people, directors of football, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, he tells them what he's got to spend. If they've got the dough, they'll go and spend it. And they've accrued, I would say, one of the top 4 squads in Europe. No doubt about that.
They've definitely got a good squad, but I wouldn't say they're the best team in the world.
No,
and I also,
wouldn't.
No,
and I
I
would
never
also
said best team in the world. I said one of the best teams in the world.
I wouldn't even call him that. And also, if he doesn't win anything this season, then he's just basically a spicy Pochettino because he hasn't won anything. He spent all that money, innit?
And they keep him, that's madness.
Exactly.
For sure, because the difference between Arteta and Pochettino is Arteta's been fully backed. Fully backed. But Mia, all I'm trying to say to you is this, right? The gap between Tottenham and Arsenal right now is monumental.
But that's never stopped us before. When we've been rubbish in the 90s, right? And we still gave them a good game. It doesn't matter about where we're at because we're Tottenham and we know those South London bloody wankers come into our territory, yeah? And we always make sure we give them a game. Even in the 90s when we were crap, we still always gave them a game.
Gave them a good game. Tell me something. How did that game go last time round, start of the season?
Because Frank played to bloody not win. Did you see? He basically played 10 defenders. Like, that's how we played.
Sorry, hang on,
it's all right. You're all right, mate. You're all right.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
yeah, they played. We played so defensively. When we played the draw we had with Ange, I think away we should have probably won that game. To be fair, so I know we lost with Ange as well, but I do think we've always tried to give them cookie. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't matter where we are on the table. We've always tried to give Arsenal a good game in it. We've never really we've always been the team because we're rivals in it. We always think this is the game we should be up for, man. It doesn't matter where we're at.
No, I get that. I mean, when we got beat 4-1 earlier in the season, Mia, and a lot of it was down to tactics. To be fair, you know, we was all still trying to work out what's this geezer doing. Do you know what I mean? Is it because you know when they played the PSG game, Mia, the first game that he took charge for that not Club World Cup, whatever it was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Against PSG, you know. People were coming out with, they haven't played for 5 or 6 weeks. They haven't done it. Now, for me, right, it's difficult because every team you play against is different. But I would say if you're trying to press PSG, which have got the most technically gifted players, right, to get out of those situations, and for 70 minutes it worked, yeah, why wouldn't you carry on doing that?
I know.
With whatever's available to you, yeah, he's mixing and matching anyway. You know, players are coming back from injury, then another one gets an injury, then one's coming back. So he ain't got the same midfield, he ain't got the same attack, whatever you think of him. Do you know what I mean? And I just think my theory is on this tomorrow is that you're going to see the same players, but you're going to be seeing a lot of them are being asked to do different things. And I think that will be the difference between what you saw with Frank, yeah, as in, especially when you was playing the better teams, yeah, it was almost like give them the ball, we'll try and work it out what we're going to do. You know, we'll go long to Dom or Richie. They'll hold it up. They can't hold a bag of cement. Do you know what I mean? And something's got to change with whatever personnel that you've got, whatever you might think of them, and whatever else. Yeah, he's got what he's got, and he's got to try and make it work. I don't know how he does that, but that's what he's got to try and do for me anyway. And hopefully, like you said earlier, Mia, he's got into him a little bit. I wouldn't want him to go over the top because it can go the wrong way.
Yeah,
straight
of course.
away.
Yeah, you have to have that balance, 100%.
But just let them know, you know what I mean? Let them know that, you know, this is serious now. You know, them upstairs who, if you like, and I am giving it the old bent 2 fingers there, pay your wages because I know that the fans pay the wages. Yeah. But I think a message has come from the boardroom via Tudor to the players. Yeah, it's time to stop messing about now. This bloke's here to make sure you're getting on with it, putting it in, yeah, for the next 12 games to get us out of trouble. That's how I see it anyway. You can tell me if you see it differently. I don't know.
No, I agree with you. I think that's what he's coming to do, and we've seen that he's had that result. He's got results with that anyway. Like short term, he gets he does do well short term. So I think that he can get the players on board. Like you say, you've got to be firm but fair, and you've got to be the right kind of way with them to get them on board. But he said training's very important. He said the way we train is important. So we've had quite a bit of time on the training pitch for him to get his ideas across to them. So
yeah, I get that as well. Jordan, I've got to say, look, listen. I'm one of these. I'm a bit like Benji. They've had 2 years and pulled out very little. We had the conversation earlier on, right, that if tomorrow, Tudor manages to do whatever it is that's different, right, whether it's what he says in the changing room, what his tactics are, whatever it is, if they put a performance in tomorrow and we're all asking for it, the next question's going to be, well, how comes you ain't been doing that for the last 6 months for Thomas Frank and before that for Ange Postecoglou? You know? So that in a way they can't win, because if they're crap tomorrow, and don't turn up and get beat 4 or 5, right, we're on them. Yeah, and if they put a performance in tomorrow, there's going to be fans saying, well, where's that been? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, no, of course.
So obviously, I'd rather go down the latter road and fans ask, well, where's that been? Because, if they do produce something tomorrow, even if it's not a win, Mia, like you said, I think more than anything, the fans will always get behind Spurs players if they're giving everything. I think that's always been a given. Always in my lifetime of going to Spurs. Do you know what I mean? You get beat from time to time, but them players put a shift in.
Yeah, leave it all out there, innit, on the pitch. That's what you asked for.
Yeah, and there's 12 games, Mia, and for me, and I don't think they're good enough players. I've done videos and rants and all sorts on our channel, of talking about how the standard's gone down since Poch went. And it's been in ever little slight increments, so people don't notice so much. It's not like it's gone whoosh down and then evened and down. It's just ever so slowly. And now we've got to the stage where we are now with the players that we've got. Yeah, and agreed. There are a few players, Mia. Van der Ven, very good player. Xavi Simons will be a very good player, I've no doubt. We've got a Kudos. Yeah. We had a Maddison, whether he comes back the same or anywhere near, it's a guess from anyone. Kulu's had massive problems with the injury that he's had to his kneecap, and there's others. But we have got some good players. But the trouble is, Mia, is that sometimes it's really difficult, because when you get a lot of what I call average and below average players, so from time to time, that below average player will give you an average performance. You go, yeah, that was all right. Yeah. Most of the time, he'll give you the below average performance, because that's just at the level that he's at. And then you'll have a Van der Ven or a Simmons or someone like that, a Kudos, and they'll give you a more regular, consistent performance, because they're just a better level of player. Do you get what I mean? And I just think we've got too many, and what hasn't helped is the injuries. The injuries have been massive towards it, because, if we'd have been, let's say Maddison didn't have that injury, that ACL. Let's say Kulu didn't have that the knee problem and the other problem that he's had. Let's say Dragusin weren't out for the season. Right? All of a sudden, your squad is a lot stronger. As in, on your bench. Do you know what I mean? You're not bringing kids on.
Yeah, you
know?
mean Danso, because it's Danso that's not out in it for the season because he's done something.
Yeah, I didn't think we was
his
going to see him.
toe.
Someone said, "Oh, he's back in 3 weeks." I thought, no, he's actually snapped a ligament in his toe. You know.
Oh, horrible.
Yeah, he ain't going to be. He's going to need the summer to get over that. I tell you, because that I would imagine that he's in plaster with his toe or whatever they do with him nowadays, or be in a boot or something. You know what I mean? But yeah, you won't see him again this season. Go on, Ben. You're on mute.
That's the most sense he's ever made.
Sorry, I
said a
forgot.
word there, Ben. I don't want you to think
idiot.
that was me.
Sorry. I was going to say Kulusevski. You were mentioning fuck. You know, I'm thinking. I was fucking idiot. Sorry. Anyway, I'll try again. Yeah, with Kulusevski, he's actually done his patella, which is something R9 did, and R9 never came back the same player. So if I'm really honest with you, I don't know if we're ever going to get that Kulusevski back. I mean, Kulusevski's a fucking annoying player anyway because he's the best player. He's the best player at the club for 6 months and then he disappears. So he's very frustrating. But you know he's quality. But I worry for him in the future. Look, I need to bounce now because I've got to take the kiddies to bed. But
I'll tell you what. Go on, Ben. Go on, mate.
I was just going to say ever so quickly, right?
Yeah.
I know when I speak about Spurs at a minute, it comes across super negative, and I can only apologise for that. But make no mistake. When I speak about tomorrow, I want to be completely wrong. In a Bukkake style, I will get in the middle of everybody in chat, and you can all shit on me if we do manage to get something tomorrow. Because I pray I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong, and I want to be wrong. But when I say it, it's just an opinion. It's just what I think is going to happen tomorrow. Because I look at the difference between Arsenal and Tottenham, and I don't trust these players.
You know, when I say stuff to you, it's all love in it, man. You know, I'm not exactly like, I'm not.
She's a liar. She's just as horrible to me off stream as she is on. Okay?
I am really horrible to
she
me.
bullies me. It's not okay. Mia.
I
know, I love her a bit. She's great. Mia's great. But right, I am going to have to go put the kiddie winkles to bed now. It's very late. And if my missus comes back and sees them still awake, I'm going to get a kick in the bollocks. And I'd rather not have that.
You better go and sort them out then, mate.
Can she not just do that anyway?
On occasion. Depends how... No, I'm not even going to get into that. Yeah. I'm joking. I'm 37 years old, mate. I don't get any of that anyway. You know what it's fucking like. Right. Take care, guys. Thank you so much. Me, I'll see you soon. Take care.
Thank you for
having me on. Chat, take care. Have a great evening.
Yeah, you take care, mate. Thanks, mate. Nice one, Ben. Yeah, there you go. So you're on for a 2-2 tomorrow, Mia?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'm on for a 1-1. I think we can nick a 1-1. And what you got? Listen, you know, I'm a bit like Ben. I have been really quite negative about Spurs for the last, I don't know, 18 months, whatever it is, couple of years. And I could quite easily sit here, Mia, and say we're going to get stuffed tomorrow. I'm just trying to find equalisers. Do you know what I mean? As in, they're a very good team, but Brentford had a go at them. They got a draw.
That's it.
Wolves got to go in the last minute. They got a draw. Yeah. And so I'm thinking, are they bottling? You know, and I don't want to jump on the bandwagon too early, but I must say the last 5 streams have all had pictures of cockerels on them on the thumbnail with the gunner busted in bits. You know what I mean?
100%.
I'm just trying to find some positives from it. Mia, new manager bounce, the lift that he might get from them, you know, whether they're crap or not.
Joe,
you know,
I always say, we all got the same goal and we all just have different paths to us getting there, which is for Tottenham to do well, right? We all want that. Like, everybody wants that. Some people's paths cross occasionally, some people's paths never cross. But the fact is, we all want the same thing. We all love Tottenham. Me, I sit more on the try and think positively because I want to support the club and be positive about the club in that way and support them that way. But if you choose not to support them in that way, of course, that's your right to do so. And whatever you think and what you say is cool. Like, I think that people get too like upset with other people's like opinions about stuff, like, and they say, you know, people get like, you can't say that. Well, I can say that if that's what I believe. Like, that's my opinion, isn't it? So it's just an opinion. And if you are trying to find the positives, then that's cool. Like, you want to try and find the positives in your club to think, yeah, we're going to be all right. Because otherwise, I mean, what hope? Otherwise, we just got no hope. And then I don't want no hope for my football club.
I know. And it is difficult, Mia, when you take everything into consideration, what's going on, you know, overall round the club, and has been for me for a long time. You know, I think in some way, shape or form, over the summer, things have definitely got to change, haven't they? Would you not agree?
Yeah, I think what's happened, I think we had one person who was a control freak and controlled everything, to having lots of people not having a control of anything. And I
Yes.
think that's the biggest issue, because they don't know what they're doing. They've all got their heads up their backsides, wandering around going, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I can just imagine the chaos. It reminds me of something, some sort of comedy skit where all the papers are flying up in the boardroom. They're all going, I don't know what to do, with their arms in the air, screaming. Like, I feel like that's what it basically is like at Tottenham at the moment.
Yeah.
So they need to do a real massive look into what is actually going on at Tottenham.
Agreed. I do. Something's got to be done, Mia. You know, these people that are supposed to be running our club, the Vinays and the Langs and so forth, that are meant to know something about football. I can't understand, Mia, our Vinay and Lang are even still in a job. Honestly, I really can't. I think the pair of them are a disaster, you know. And again, I don't know. What do you think on it? Because that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that what's happened is, like, we saw that they brought in what's his name? That coach, didn't they? And he was only there for 30.
Frank. Yeah.
No, not Frank. The other guy they brought in for Frank, like a extra coach, whatever.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head now. It's late.
Yeah.
And they brought him in, and they obviously did that thinking that they were going to keep him. So they were all playing, oh, let's all be friends. Let's not sack him. We'll be nice. Like, do they not see what was going wrong? It's like they couldn't see it because they were so determined to be right that they didn't want to be wrong about Frank, and they didn't want to sack him. Like, it was like, what are you doing? Can you not see that you're just like making things so much worse for our club? And so they've got no clue. If that's how they thought, that does not give me hope at all with the future, if that's how they see things.
Yeah, fair play. And it's just, I don't know if you can see the screen, Mia. There's a question there from Daniel. He says, thoughts on Lang's comments today? Did you see him?
Yeah, basically it was a load of word salad. Nothing really was said. It was a lot of words and not really much said. Basically, we're going to do better. But that's the gist of it, and they never do better. So I don't really know. Like,
no, yeah. I mean, yeah. I had a look at it, and to me, it just reeked of bullshit. Just the usual stuff, Mia. For me,
yeah,
just full of shit. That's the way I look at it. Anyway, you know. I wouldn't trust him as far as you could throw him, to be honest with you. But that's just me. That's Lang I'm talking about, by the way. I don't think Vinay is much better, to be honest with you. But you know, I think that's going to be something that will maybe start to get sorted out from the 1st of June onwards, when it's the start of next season. Yeah,
I really hope so. I hope.
Yeah, I do.
I really do, because
go on.
I've never had to run a big cult business or anything like that, but really common sense tells you that if this is happening where everything keeps going wrong, that you need to investigate why this is going wrong and sort out who's doing what and what their goals are, and give them set targets and say, this is what we want you to achieve, so then they know what they're doing. It just feels like they've got no direction. They don't know what they're doing, and I don't know if anybody from above is really telling them. And does Vinay even have a clue? He's an ex-gooner. I don't trust him. He looks like it reminds me of the guy from Harry Potter, the rat one.
Oh yeah.
It reminds me of him. I love Harry Potter. I'm a massive Harry Potter fan. Peter Pettigrew. It reminds me of him a little bit rat-faced. So I just think if that's the case, then you need to sort this out and you need to arrange it so you've got someone at the head of the club that is able to cope with being a CEO and making those decisions and making those decisions correctly. Not all decisions they're going to get correct, right? No one's perfect. But if he can't even make a decision, that doesn't bode very well for him, does it?
No, not at all. It doesn't, Mia. It don't bode well for the football club either, does it, really, when you think about it? You know? Listen, it is what it is. I don't know what else to say, really. It's been a great show. I'm gonna wrap it up now, Mia, if that's all right
No problem.
with you.
Yeah.
I'm on early in the morning again on the breakfast brunch, 9:30. Just so you all know, get there in the morning if you're up and about with your bit of toast and your cup of coffee. 9:30. Whether the sheriff will be there or not, I don't know, but I will be. So, and then we've got the watch along in the afternoon. Can I say thank you to you, Mia, for coming on? Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Having a chat. You're welcome anytime. Let me say thank you to Benji, because Benji jumped on and helped me out. Thanks to the chat. It's been a bit lively in the chat tonight, to be fair. And one more thing that I've got to say, big up to Paul Brown. Sent in a little super chat. Cheers, Paul. Really appreciate that. And he's put on it, without the nostalgia, we'd be, I don't know if that's meant to be bollocks or something like that. But big up to you, Paul. There you go, that one there. Don't know if it's my screen or if it, I don't know what. Yeah, but something like that, Paul. And then on top of that, he's become a YouTube member. So big up to you, Paul. Thanks very much for becoming a member, sending in the super chat. Really appreciate it. It really helps us out. Big thanks to Mia. Make sure you get over to her at the Lone Wolf. Give her a sub. Yeah. Same with Benji over at the Oxborough. Give them a sub. We're all doing our best at the end of the day. We all, like Mia says, a lot of us have got the same opinion, but we have a different path for getting there. And I think that's a good thing sometimes.
Yeah.
You know,
no,
I do.
Life would be boring if we all just agreed. Let's be honest.
Of course. Yeah, you're spot on. So big up to you, Mia. Thanks for being on. Big up to the chat. Big up to all the mods. Done a great job in there tonight, as usual. Big up to Brownie for being a member and the super chat. We'll love you and leave you. See you at 9:30 in the morning for the breakfast brunch. Have a good evening, everyone. Take care.